The Widow. How do I describe Ashley? She is a force of nature. But I'm going to do what I do. I hope you like it, Ashley. Here we go. She's the widow, a cute, sexy thing. She has a husky voice with a southern twang. If you come at her, then pack a lunch. If you throw a jab, then she'll throw a punch. I think the MCU is her favorite topic. She breaks it down. She got crazy optics. The widow's ready. So here we go. Sit back, relax, enjoy her show. The Widow. That name alone says it all. Ashley is a force of nature. Don't mess with her. Make sure you tune into her show. Her content is fire. Peace.
Hello. Welcome to the stream. I'm your girl Ashley, aka The Widow, and who is with me today? It's the Dottie Dot is here. How are you, Dot?
I'm doing good. What I was about to say, I was about to say something slick about MCU fans, but I'll think about it later.
You'll think about it later. Hopefully, Dot is going to show us a look, maybe eventually in a minute. I think he's laying down. And of course, Anzo of Bigger for Entertainment is here. The Canadian gentleman. How are you?
I'm doing good. What's up? Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to be on the stream with you guys. And it's going to be great to diss the DCEU today.
Right. And of course, welcome to the team. He just signed his contract today. He signed with The Widow, his new obligations. The one and only Eddie Betty is here.
Hey everyone, what's up? Glad to be here and F the MCU.
He signed the contract, guys. He is officially an MCU shield.
Never.
He's excited.
Nope.
To take up that mantle.
I don't know.
To be a crusader for the MCU. And for his his noun, Feige,
Yeah.
Okay.
Not even close.
Just got to go back and watch the stream last night and how he was praising Dr. Strange and how good it was. You know what I mean?
I mean, come on, guys.
But that's not really the MCU movies to begin with. And plus,
night, bro. You all know. We all know. There's nothing. Eddie, I hate this little movie, but it's still an MCU movie.
No, that's different. This is something real, refreshing, unique, like not no copy and paste.
You like Captain Marvel?
I don't like Captain Marvel.
You like so many movies in the MCU.
No. Yeah, it's a difference. This is a Sam Raimi movie.
Yeah, I put it separately. This is actually quality.
So you didn't like Infinity War?
Like I said, those movies are trash. They flop.
Okay. Did you like Infinity War, my sir?
Look, I'm not trying to get into the topics right now. The MCU. I'm just trying to get into. This is not the main topic. Why you guys always trying to catch me?
Are you gonna like run for president one day? Because you answer questions like a politician. That was a deflection. Hi, Chris. How are you?
Be a great president. So you got to answer questions. You don't answer them.
He doesn't. He's deflecting. I said he's a politician.
But see, this is the thing, right? That we do it because we don't want to fall for any traps. You're trying to trap us. You're trying to set us up.
You see the eyebrow is that, dude.
We can literally do a filibuster.
I don't believe it. 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 So were y'all Eddie, were you sweet to your mama today?
Yeah, I went to get some flowers, some balloons, some cards, and some other stuff, and I just whatever. I don't like any of that stuff. But I had to do it for just to be nice because I do love my mother. I'm not really that affectionate person, but I still follow that stuff because obviously show respect for being alive.
Yeah, I mean you give me a lot of affection, so I guess
I mean I give you more distance and affection, but if you take it that way, okay.
Really? Y'all want to see all the lovely messages he sends me about how he loves the MCU?
Yeah, you're definitely lying.
When he grows up, he wants to be like me and be really cool.
I'm starting to believe I'm starting to believe Ashley about those witch powers because I think she'd be trying to mind control me or some shit. That's why.
Hey.
Every time she talk about me praising the MCU, I have blackouts and shit. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about?
I am a witch.
I think she's using her powers on me or something.
Having those Moon Knight blackouts.
Yeah, I'd be having those Moon Knight blackouts.
There's several people that can confirm my witch capabilities. I'm a witch. That's it, right? So, Dottie ... How's your day been?
It was cool, and quiet and chilling. Uploaded a video. Had Mother's Day stuff. It's my brother's birthday. Wish him happy birthday. I mean, it was cool. It was an okay day.
Did you burn any food or attempt to kill anybody by cooking today?
I didn't burn any food, but I had some good food. So, yeah, I didn't burn shit. I didn't burn no food. I actually didn't cook today, so
that's why you didn't burn any food.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, he didn't burn any food today, ladies and gentlemen, because
I didn't feel like it.
No, you know what?
Anytime he says he has good food, it's because he didn't cook, guys.
Yeah.
No, it's okay, kid. You don't have to defend yourself. I know when it comes to us DC fans, there's some MasterChef shit. But if these Marvel fans are burning everything,
I like how to spit take, literally. What is that?
Eddie,
I've ate this man's food before, okay? And I will bring it up. Just like I've rode in a car with
this man. And I'm surprised you're still alive.
I am too, because I rode in a car with him. Okay, first of all. And then he prepared some food. So those two moments were life threatening experiences alone.
Eddie, look, this what happened, right? I was driving the car, right? She literally tried to take the wheel, talking about, I can drive better. While we was on the freeway, she tried to grab the wheel, and we almost crashed into a truck. You remember, like the Batman when the penguin crashed into a truck?
No.
He was trying to reenact that sequence. No. She was like, "Oh my god, I want to recreate a movie. Let's go." And I'm like, Ashley, relax. What are you doing? You were gonna die. And she was a MC friend trying to sabotage my DC wheels.
Yeah,
she wanted my DC wheels to get messed up, make me pay all this money to a mechanic and stuff. Like, she really was trying to set me up. She's a hater.
So do you believe this?
She's a hater, bro.
Do you believe I did that?
But nah, but y'all, she really did grab the wheel.
Yeah.
You believe it?
No. First off, we already know DCEU fans can't drive. We know that. You know what I mean?
Well,
so
I will admit that some Marvel fans can't either. But I have not jumped out of a car and ran my car into a fence in the past 2 years. So I've been proved.
The past, oh God.
I did that one time. Like, I was in a rush. I got out of my car and I got to my car and park, and it hit the fence.
Wow.
No scratches on my car. Nothing. The fence just went in a little bit. I'm telling you, that takes skill when you can literally walk in your home and leave your car and drive, and nothing happens to your car. And it costs $50 to fix the fence. Thank you, Knight. I had a good Mother's Day. My kiddos, we went. Like I said, my oldest son came back in the morning, brought me my coffee and my juice and all that, and that was fun. Then we went to go see my mama, hung out with her for a little bit. Then we went to see, guess what I did again? I went to see Dr. Strange in the Multiverse of Madness again. And that's going to be like kind of where we're going to segue with, to kind of start with that. Because, I
had a question for you though.
Yes.
You said because you post on Twitter, you said something about Derby. What do you mean you didn't? What do you mean when you said Derby? You mean
you don't know what the Kentucky Derby is?
Okay, I thought so.
Yeah, the Kentucky Derby. Like my like a lot of times my family will go actually to the Derby, but this year my mother hosted a garden party. It was an event, and it was a charity thing for the church, and I had to go, and it was like a big thing, and it was but I was 2 hours late, which wasn't good for,
Black woman, you never expect them to be on time.
I mean, I mean, I'm not usually as late as I was, but I was late.
Not as usually as late, but late, right? Got you.
Yeah, I was late. I went to the event because I was gonna go and like help like do some things or whatever. Like, but she had like it all catered. It was a whole thing, okay? And so I go to this event and like everybody's like dressed, you got to be like, how do you do? I'm fine, kind sir. Like, and I can't be like, dude, suck that. I can't, I can't be my authentic or like talk about like energies and like, and they're like, why don't you eat meat? You're not, how you get your protein? And they was doing all that, like that's the kind of conversations we have and, about scriptures and things like that. So yeah, that was a great time. And if it wasn't a Mother's Day weekend, I'd been like, oh, I'm kind of sick. I don't think. No, I would have went anyway. Like anytime, like my mom hosts a thing or my dad hosts a thing, I'm there. But it's just like it's really not my vibe, and I don't like the derby. Like I don't like it. Like I feel bad for the horses. If they like pump these horses up with steroids and the way that they treat them, I'm not excited. So that's not my thing. And it's like you do all that. Hi, Arkham. How are you? You get it all ready.
Are you sure? I'm pretty sure I heard Kevin Feige be sponsoring that shit.
The Derby?
Pumping horses full of steroids and all that shit. I'm pretty sure Kevin Feige.
I don't think Kevin Feige invented thoroughbred horses. Okay, I mean
I think that was Walter Hamada.
I saw him. I caught him one time. I thought he was about to race the horse, but then he started chopping it up and started eating it raw. I was like, "What the fuck?"
That's what I was gonna say. It's Walter Hamada. You know them Asians love eating horses.
Oh my gosh! What is happening?
I'm just saying.
I do not condone this type of thing, guys.
Did I say that? My bad.
Speaking of, let's just start with, speaking of people that say outrageous things, right? So everybody knows of Nerdrotic, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody know in Geeks and Gamers. I think I've watched like one Geeks and Gamer video. Outside of like when I've been like, watching a stream and somebody might have been reacting to it or been on a panel where we were reacting to some of the things that they say. I've not like actively went and sought out one of their videos before outside of one time. But I saw this thing on Twitter and we all know Dr. Strange the Multiverse of Madness came out and Nerdrotic, or aka Gary, I like to call him Gary, had some interesting things to say, Eddie, right? Didn't he?
Oh yeah, well, he didn't get to his actual review, but he was on a panel discussing it. But I'm pretty sure he'll make a video separately. But yeah, he said he called it a bait and switch, MCU, woke, agenda driven, and he said some outrageous shit as well. And I was like, this guy is just ridiculous, to be honest. This is all fake ass freaking outrage. So let's look at this. Hi, Knight is here. Knight is in the building. How are you? Parko.
Thank you guys for coming.
Hello. And Raya. Beautiful Ray is here. Welcome, guys. So yeah, we're gonna pull this up and look at this. And just see the craziness of it all. Really, truly. It's absolutely ridiculous. So let's pull this up. Did you make I'm joking. There he is. Look at him, guys.
Dr. Umar K. Dots.
He is here, guys. He is
here. The Black Messiah.
So let's hear what the Black Messiah has to say about this, right? Let me look at my stuff.
That decision was deliberately made to make it look like
I can hear.
So the reason we're pointing out the wedding at the beginning is that decision was deliberately made to make it look like instead of a genuine decision, which nobody has a problem with, it was deliberately made to cut Dr. Strange. That was a deliberate, politically based, ideologically based decision to put in that.
So wait, hold on, because it kind of chipped out a bit then. So what he's trying to say is, because she was marrying a black man, it was political. Is that what I'm getting from that?
Yeah.
Oh my god. These guys sometimes they just reach for shit. You know what I mean? They just reach. They reach. Like
thoughts and opinions on that.
I think it's dumb. I think it's dumb. I think it's stupid. Like you guys just want to. Everything to these guys is an agenda. Everything that happens is an agenda. You know. Oh, they have a gay character. It's agenda. Oh, they have a white woman marrying a black man. It's an agenda. Shut up.
Dot, thoughts here.
So, let me get this straight. They're tripping because Dr. Strange is marrying a black man, right? Well,
Christine
is marrying a black man, right? Okay. All right. This is the day that I would fear the Caucasian man, right? They fear the brothers rising up. They don't like that us brothers are dominating their women. They don't like that shit. And they can't handle it because once we do that, we're going to be the majority.
Hi, Brian.
You know, we're going to take away all their white blood is going to be gone. And all their children, all the upcoming new children with the white women, it's going to be black, majority black. We're going to dominate the species. That's what they're worried about.
This is a joke for anybody that's coming in. No. This is all satire right now.
And look, at the end of the day, they simply cannot handle it. They can't. So, shouts to that black man that married Christine, dominate that woman, you know, get her pregnant, make sure that baby come out black. If it don't come out black, that baby come out white.
Not his child, right?
Get rid of that baby. You better put that baby in front of them adoption homes and stuff. You know how people back in the day used to put that baby in the basket, take the adoption home. Do that.
You know what the issue
black is?
You know what the issue? You know what the issue is, man? It's because we got.
I don't condone any of this, ladies and gentlemen.
We got that third leg. You know what I mean? And the white man, they have that little wiener, so they're mad.
Oh god! Oh my god!
So they're mad because once you go black, you never go back.
Well,
look, even though I was slightly,
I'm going to speak up now, I guess, because apparently, I'm a proponent and a champion for white men everywhere. You know how I adore these white men. You know what I mean? I love my.
I'm gonna get Ashley. I'm gonna get Ashley a white T-shirt. Go have from Red White gonna say, "I love my white man."
Yeah, because you know how fast you know how we know that's true. Just last night, when we were talking about what's the dude, Krasinski, whatever his name is, she was like, "Oh yeah, he's hot. Oh yeah." She was like all over the dude last night.
He is attractive. Like, I mean, it wasn't like we were talking about somebody else. He is very attractive. But yeah, I feel like in my opinion, this is quite ridiculous. Truly, it's just like. I feel like, do you really believe this, or are you just, up on this and just using this as a, to make sure you get subs and, you go and people watch your content, because it's just like, that is one of the dumbest things I've ever heard.
Facts.
Like, why do you honestly say, because I mean, yeah, I feel like that they might've been like, oh, well, we want to, portray a multiracial relationship. Mm-hmm. I believe that was possibly intentional. Like once they wrote in the script that she was going to get married and that they wanted to do something a little bit different. But in my mind, never is that them intentionally trying to make Dr. Strange, a white man, look weaker to the black man.
Right, it's
Exactly.
different. It's
I
it's
don't
like
understand that. Like, how are you
so they're talking about he
offended?
was cucked,
I
right?
do want to offend. Yeah, and I want to say, how are you offended? Like, if a relationship doesn't work out, and then her next relationship is
Is a
with a black
black
man.
man.
That
Facts.
says more about like what you're thinking about it
Mhm.
than anybody else. Truly. What was you gonna
Absolutely.
say, Dot?
Because this is the thing, right? Look, I know what cucking is. We know what it is. I know what it is. It would be totally different if like Christine walked over to Dr. Strange like, my black, yeah, his third leg is big. Like she was like really like
Mhm.
going up to Dr. Strange, going like, my man's so much better. You trash. You got a little like you got a little sausage and all that. Like really just disrespecting him and demeaning him and downplaying him just to hype up her man. Now that's cucking. She wasn't doing none of that. Like they had no bad interaction during the wedding. He was trying to like confess his feelings of how he still kind of felt, but he wasn't trying to like get back with her. But he was trying to be honest about how he still feels. But nah, he wasn't cut.
In a very respectful manner,
Right.
and you have to remember, did you not see the first Doctor Strange and how he treated her in that film?
Exactly. Now,
And
if oh, sorry, go ahead.
go ahead. No, go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was
No,
just
go
gonna
ahead,
say
Isaac.
if they were dating and then the black man came in and took her, then I could say, yeah, you got a little bit of a point there. But they were broken
Yeah.
up, you know what I mean? So it makes no
Yeah.
sense.
Like he treated her, because he learned as the first film progressed though to treat her differently, but he was very rude to her. Like she
Hmm.
tried to, be by his side, like after his accident and his surgeries, and he was so obsessed with fixing his hands. And remember that when she's in his home and she was like, there's other things that you can do with your life. And he's like, what, be with you?
Hmm.
The other things that can
Hmm.
give your life meaning. So you think about it, Strange treated her horribly, right? And
Hmm.
maybe he feels bad about that. And then, like at the end of the Doctor Strange, you could tell that he was trying to get over that, but then he had to leave her again because he, was a sorcerer and with the
Right.
mystic arts, he didn't want to harm her. And then he was gone for 5 years, and the events of Infinity War, and then being snapped away. So they had a span of time where they were not together. And no matter how sorry he might feel for the way he treated her, and maybe they've
He has no
resolved that,
chance
and
to get with her.
she's forgiven him for that. There's no rekindling that relationship,
Yeah, it's
for
over.
her. It's done in the water. So to use that he's cucked and that it was all, to make him look weaker to the black man, in my opinion, is freaking ridiculous.
Absolutely.
Right, and
100%.
look,
Because a man
even
is a
though,
man.
and
That doesn't matter.
And you
even
know
I think
what?
though
that
us brothers,
specific people get very uncomfortable and offended because they feel like their manhood or whatever, or there's something within themselves that they're insecure about. And that's
Hmm.
how it comes off to me. Go ahead, Dot.
and even though his brothers is the superior, man out there on these streets,
Facts.
Dot.
we are the
Facts.
superiors.
Facts.
I can respectfully say that Caucasian man, Benedict Cumberbatch, Dr. Strange, Stefan Strange, was not cut. He was respectfully cut, but he wasn't cut.
And I'll say this, at the end of the day, you go back and watch histories
They're being
of
goofy.
movies. You go back and watch the history of the movies, right? They usually make black men look weak in some of these movies
Mhm.
anyway. So, I mean, if they did do that and they wanted to make a black man look powerful or whatever, then hey, fuck
He
it.
didn't look powerful. He looked like
No,
a
he did
super
it.
fan.
He was a super fan.
He was a super
Absolutely.
fan of Strange.
Absolutely. 100%. But
He
I'm
liked
saying if they
Strange, he
did do
adored
it.
him.
It's not like he went up to him and tried to check him. It wasn't like
Right.
he
Mhm.
was like trying to like be combative with him. He
Right.
was a fan of Strange and like
Absolutely.
wasn't and thought he was cool. So it's just like
Mhm.
I don't get where you're coming from with this point. It's either you're projecting or you're saying these things for clicks and views.
For
Eddie,
clicks
which
and
one
views.
do you think it is? Is it a little bit of both? What would you think? And give me a true blue answer. I think Dottie is, doing his cute little troll stuff.
Well, I gotta say though, I agree with Dots, and I just use my own opinions as well. A Caucasian woman and a black man together—that's the devil's work right there. I do not condone that shit at all. We need pure blood throughout the world, and we can't have mixed race people at all. Now,
I don't
no,
disagree.
look, no, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding when it comes to that. Look, man. I accept anyone. No, it is bullshit. I'm not gonna lie. It's like, he was just there to be there. Like, he's not even an important character. He was just in the background, said like one line, and then that shit. You never saw his ass ever again. Are they mad? Unless they're mad because they're shippers or something, and they wanted both of them to come together. And yeah, I guess. And they're secret like Christine and Dr. Strange shippers. I get why they're mad. But it's like, besides that, I mean, yes, in the end of the first film, you saw that he owned up to his mistakes towards her. Yes, he was a jackass to her in the beginning, and then after his hands got all messed up, yeah, he was a dick and drove her away. But in the end, it looked like they probably could have worked out. But then I guess it just Sam Raimi or whoever else was like, well, we already know who in the comics at least who Strange is gonna end up marrying anyway, so might as well just break it off quickly so we get to his actual relationship with Clea, I think that's her name, right?
Yes.
So it's like they had to get rid of Christine. I don't even think she'll probably be in the third film anyway, if they make one. But it's like they just had to get straight. They had to end a relationship already. I mean, even with that episode of What If, it looked like, well, that is tragic. And it definitely shows more how he felt about her than that actual movie itself, a cartoon episode. But no, it just had to end that way. The fact that people are complaining about just this random guy being there, just be there, is I'm not even trying to say they're racist, but this really is just because he's black. I swear on everything, if it was just a white guy that she was married, they probably wouldn't even said anything at all.
Facts.
Yeah. And then another thing
and real quick, if that white dude was doing what I was saying earlier, walking up the Strange, going like, and Christine too, they both have to be doing it for it to be cucking. They're walking up like, yo, man, little string bean arms. You can't even take care of Christine. Now I can pay her bills. I can do all that. You ain't even know, man. Like if it was that, then yes, that is cucking. That is what cucking is. Mm-hmm. Like that's what it would be, but it was none of that. And I do agree. I think it more than likely is that it is just because he's black. Now look, sometimes I may agree with these individuals at times. Sometimes geeks and gamers might say something I agree about. It's probably rare now, but before, like when the Star Wars shit was like big, like last shit, I was like, okay, I agree with some of y'all shit. But then I drifted away, and I was like, all right, that was getting too much. Y'all just hating on the same shit constantly over and over and over. It's getting boring. But in this moment, like this is either, well, as you said, they're projecting, or they're projecting. They don't like him because he's black. Yeah, it's either one of those two.
Yeah, and then and if you even think when you were talking about Christine, like there were rumors going into this film that she wasn't even going to be in the movie, right? Mm-hmm. And so I think that this was a good way to like get to like put a pin in that relationship, unless they're going to like set him up for some multiversal relationship with her in the future, which I don't think that that's what's going to happen, because he is married to Clea, and she's also a powerful sorceress, and she is actually becomes a sorcerer supreme eventually at one time in that dimension. Yeah, and we see her. She comes in. Charlize Theron. She's playing Clea, and then the two of them are going to go off on an adventure, and that relationship might develop for him. And I think that was just them putting putting that old relationship to bed. It wasn't about making him look weak, because I don't think that any moment in the film that Strange looked weak. I feel like if anything, he looked at times he's always so reassured and confident in himself that is like does him a disservice. Like that's part of his flaw. It's very similar to Tony in some ways. It's just that the way he carries his arrogance is slightly different. Like he also believes that
come shoot my house better. Down, it's all good. Come shoot my, Tony.
Yeah.
Come shoot my house. Like, what's up?
And Strange does similar things. He wants to be the one to fix it, control it, right? And that's the lesson that he had to learn in this movie. So so Strange never looks weak, all right? Like like I feel like his weakness is in his own belief, in his own strength to want to control everything, if anything, in my opinion. Um,
Mhm.
and then the next thing, so Doctor Strange, like I said, I've seen it 4 times now, right? So excited for
Damn,
that.
damn.
MCU
Yeah.
fans, man. MCU fans watching movies like
Hey,
50, 30 times. That's shit crazy.
stop that shit.
You
How many times did Arkham see fucking the Batman?
That's different because
He said
there was no
25
other good
times.
movies out besides the Batman because the Batman was so amazing. So
No, the
it
Batman
made
was
sense
trash.
why I went to go see the Batman
What do you
Garbage.
mean there
over and
were no
over.
other good films? Like, what are we
There
talking
wasn't.
about?
What else was out at that time?
What
There was
good
nothing
films
on the
are
Batman
out
list.
right now that people
No
need to
way.
go to the theater
No
for?
Way Home
Man,
was still out.
That movie had its expiration.
it had its expiration. Well,
The second day
anyway,
it came out, that's when that movie was like, it's over.
yeah. Well, Doctor Strange opened this weekend, right? And right now, $265 million at the international
Nice.
box office, which it now totally globally it's $450 million. And the first Doctor Strange made
These
six
MCU
hundred and
fans.
seventy-seven million dollars.
Hmm.
This one is already 200 and 16 million away from that number.
Hmm.
So the question that I have for you, and we're going to look at this article, do you think next week there's going to be a big dip? I know I asked that question last night. Because I know, like we brought it up, the cinema score is a B plus, which is pretty low for Marvel's a Marvel film. The lowest is Eternals, that comes in at a B minus. This one sets it a B plus, and a lot of the things, the chatter is people love the visuals, and they hate the story. Or people really, really enjoy it. And then there's the few little set group that say, why would you bring Sam Raimi in, and it's too campy and it's too cheesy? So it's not got like everyone on board saying that this is a really good movie. But what do you all think about the $450 million? What are your projections? Do you think it's going to get to that $1 billion mark, Dot, or do you think it's going to be around an 800 million? Where do you think it's going to fall? I don't want to leave the question too much.
This is obviously going to hit 1 billion. These MCU fans, shit, got that. Well, how much? 450, 450?
Hmm.
Oh my
I
god!
did go see the Northman,
Yeah,
WZ.
this movie is about to make 1 billion. At this point, looking at this, it'll probably make just as much as No Way Home easily for its opening weekend. 450. Oh my gosh! Yeah, it's easy making as much as No Way Home at this point. And I doubt there'll be a second week drop. Like a drop. An MCU fan in a second week drop.
Well, usually for the MCU films
They
or
don't
superhero
coexist.
films,
They can't
they
50%.
coexist.
usually do have a
Yeah. Yeah.
50%, sometimes up to 60, but it's usually around 50% drop off. But we're not going
Bro,
to get like a 80,
with
80%
everything
drop.
in this film, like I heavily doubt like the multiverse, the cameos, Doctor Strange, Wanda. That we got the WandaVision fans, like all this hype around its MCU product. Yeah, there won't be. If maybe though there will be a drop, but it'll be like very small. It won't be like a BVS drop.
You
I'll
see,
say
the
that.
thing was the
It won't
reason
be
why
like a
these.
Morbius drop, right?
Or a
No,
Morbius
definitely
drop.
not.
That won't be
Well,
that. It won't be
okay,
that.
Anzo,
Like
what were you going to
there's
say?
too much a part of this movie for this movie or any movie that's of its magnitude under the MCU to drop like this, unless the movie is like written like horribly, then maybe. Like the movie has to be written like a Transformers movie for there to be a drop.
Right. And I say this, with these Marvel movies or whatever, you're always gonna have that drop because most people like to go see these in the first week, right? That's why the
Yeah.
first weeks are always so high, and then the rest of the people are like want to avoid the rush will go later on. So there's
And then the
always gonna be that drop.
rewatches and the people that go
Right.
and do multiple watches, like
Yes.
right?
Yes. Yes.
They go.
Hmm.
Again, continue, Anzo.
No, no, that's it. I was just saying, yeah, there's gonna be the drop, but it's not gonna be so high. I don't think so. Plus, a lot of good word of mouth. There's people that don't think it's perfect, but I haven't heard anyone really say that they actually hate the movie. So
Yes. And Eddie, what do you think here?
No, I think it might secure that billion after Disney buys the rest of the theaters and shit. I think we're good. Um, I think
Eddie.
It'll make a billion after they do that shady stuff in the side or whatever. But yeah, I agree. They buy theaters for anyone that didn't
So
know.
so I'm gonna read this article. Like, don't listen to what Eddie's saying. Yes, he's like in a hate. He's just being an MCU hater.
I just says to make a billion. What do you mean?
Okay.
I mean, you're gonna buy
At least,
theaters to make a billion.
at least it'll make more than the Batman, and I think that's all we really care
That's
about.
the thing with us DC fans. The people at DC headquarters know, like, no, we're gonna do this honest work. We're not gonna buy theaters like Disney does.
See, buy theaters. Okay. So
We're not gonna
buy.
put
That's the
we're
hater
not gonna
in you.
put
That's the
five
hater in you.
Batman in our movie. We're not gonna put five Batman in our movie. We don't need five Batman.
Oh yeah, the MCU.
You're just gonna have three in one, right?
Right, because that's the
You're just
only
gonna
Batman
have
they
three in
have,
one.
anyways.
Technically, we got two.
But that movie probably won't be coming out anyway, so we don't need to worry about that. But
And
anyway,
then it
Doctor
doesn't
Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is the newest timeline altering template in the Disney Marvel Cinematic Universe. Captured a huge $265 million in its international box office debut. Those mighty ticket sales represent the second biggest opening weekend overseas in the pandemic times. Sony's Spider-Man No Way Home still stands at the highest grossing COVID era debut with the 340 million internationally. So it's off by 90 million. It says the second Doctor Strange film starring Benedict Cumberbatch as the goat rocking sorcerer generated 185 million in North America over the weekend, bringing its global tally to a massive 450 million. That ranks as the fourth best worldwide opening weekend for a Marvel movie behind Avengers Endgame, Avengers Infinity War, and Spider-Man No Way Home. That's really good. And it says Doctor Strange 2 also stands as the sixth biggest global weekend in history.
Right, and I think we're like, I thought it would make a lot more domestically. I think that's why it's probably not going to beat Spider-Man No Way Home.
Oh no, it won't beat that. Yeah,
no, but it'll get to 1 billion. I think it'll hit 1 billion.
And here's another breakdown. It says it's Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is currently playing in 49 foreign markets. The top grossing territories include Korea with 30 million, the United Kingdom with 24.7 million, Mexico with 21.5 million, Brazil with 16.3 million, India with 12.7 million, and Australia with 12.6 million. And Germany comes in at 12 million. Notably, the movie did not open in China or Russia, two major markets for the MCU movies.
Is it opening in China?
I know the last thing that I saw that they had in China, the Chinese authorities were reviewing it to see if it was going to be able to air in theaters there. We know it's not in Saudi Arabia and some other Middle Eastern countries because Disney refused to take out that quick little scene with her mothers together. And they said no, but obviously we know they've done that in the past, but now with everything that's going on with Disney World in Florida with the Don't Say Gay bill, and Ron DeSantis, in the backlash for people that work for the company and just people in general, they took this stance. So what do you all think here about this? Like, I think it's gonna, I think at first I thought it wouldn't make $1 billion, just because sometimes word of mouth and like people saying once they realize all of these big grandiose things are not in the film, like a lot of people thought, and I wonder if that's why it got to that high number pretty quickly, because of all these crazy leaks that were going around. Hi, Chillmonger, how are you? All these crazy leaks that were going around about all these supposed characters being in the movie. Maybe that helped it, but I'm curious. I think that it'll probably get to $1 billion now, and it'll probably be about 1.2, maybe Black Panther numbers. is what I'm thinking. It's obviously not gonna do No Way Home numbers. I mean, because that was a film for the ages when it comes to the epicness and the span of 20 plus years, combining all of these films together and seeing a character like Spider-Man in 3 different versions of Spider-Man in one film. So yes, it will not make 1.9 billion, but I think it'll make 1.2 billion. Dotty dot. Thoughts, Anna, opinions.
I already knew this film was gonna make $1 billion. Once you started this multiverse concept, it's a monster that's not going to stop. Nostalgia is powerful. It's a thing, and it can help a lot. And I'm not saying it's just nostalgia that helped push this movie. Like I said, so many factors. The MCU brand, the fact that people have seen Strange in Infinity War. He was a fan favorite from that. It was Infinity War. Like, so many factors are into this, and then you can say the Disney taking a stand against Saudi Arabia and all these other countries and saying they're not going to step down from what they're doing and take out the LGBTQ themes and stuff. And there was another thing I was about to say, another factor. Like I said, so many factors into why this is going to make $1 billion. It was never no doubt in my mind that this movie was going to make $1 billion ever. At this point, I am literally considering that it might make almost as much as No Way Home. Look at this opening weekend. That it's like halfway into its box office run already. Like, it's halfway into it. Next week, shit. Damn. Maybe I'm thinking maybe in the third week, that's when the drop will happen. I think in the third week that drop might happen.
Well, it's gonna drop constantly for the rest of the couple of weeks. But what I was gonna say is I'm kind of glad that they didn't do all the cameos that people thought they were doing, because I don't want people to start thinking every time they go see an MCU movie now there's got to be some kind of cameo or some shit in it. You know what I mean? So I'm glad they didn't do that. I'm really glad.
Yeah, I'm glad that it was. I mean, it was a story that. I mean, they're going to do a lot more team up things going forward, but those characters are like really important to the story. So if you add all of these cameos in there, and then there's the rumor going around that they cut all the cameos out. They all got left on the cutting room floor, right?
Yeah.
Iron Man, everybody, Deadpool, all this stuff. Do you all believe this report, or do you feel it's just like scoopers trying to like save face? Like, Anzo, what are your thoughts on it making $1 billion? And then the follow-up question about all this stuff being left on the cutting room floor. Do you buy it or do you not buy it?
So first off, yeah, I hope it makes $1 billion, just as long as it beats the Batman. I'm cool with that. You know what I mean? We can't have a Marvel movie coming out not beating a DC movie that just came out. So Spider-Man No Way Home did it. Then we have the Batman, and now we'll have Multiverse of Madness that will beat it. So that's fine. I'm good with that. The rumors, it's we talked about it the other night, and you were like, "Well, I don't see them paying Tom Cruise to be in the movie and then cutting him out. It just doesn't make sense for them to do that, right? At least have something little bit there." So I really don't think that they cut him out of the film. I don't think so at all. I think that maybe there are some things that they cut out, and maybe Marvel likes to cut things from movies and then use them as like maybe an end credit scene or some other things. Because if you watch WandaVision, that scene where she goes and steals Wanda Vision from the thing, that was supposed to be in the end game or end credit scene of Endgame. So I think they might have done that, but I don't think that all these cameos that people were talking about, I think people were just trying to save face. So yeah, this could cut off. And if they bring up the deleted scenes and I see it, then I'm like, okay, I was wrong. But until then, I don't believe it.
And to say, look, and go off the Tom Cruise point. This is the same Tom Cruise that was going to sue Warner Brothers if they cut off Henry Cavill's mustache. A mustache.
Mm-hmm.
This dude doesn't fuck around with his money. If you're gonna film shit with Tom Cruise and you don't commit to it, like let's say you did film some shit, he's gonna get paid for it, all that. They don't commit. Like, he would have sued. Yeah, he don't go. People sue Disney too. He ain't play no games. Don't play with his fucking money. This same dude that sued over a mustache, y'all. Y'all really think he wouldn't sue? Come on. If that, Tom Cruise is never in this movie. He never filmed anything. I don't believe he filmed shit. That was just people making up stuff. It would have been cool if he was in it. I mean, would have been cool if he was Superior Iron Man. But just rumors. I even saw a guy today on Twitter, some Twitter account called Moth something. You guys probably seen it. He was literally, his mind literally broke because he was complaining about how Toby wasn't in Multiverse of Madness, and he's trying to say how Toby could beat Wanda in a fight. I'm not. Did y'all see it? Did y'all see that tweet?
No.
Yeah. Pull it up real quick. Can you pull it up?
This person will be trolling. I don't know if he's trolling or not. I'm assuming he's trolling. I really hope he is. But this was one of the
I don't think he is.
This was one of the scoopers that leaked these cameos like a while back. I remember his account.
Really?
He leaked them too. Now this is the tweet. Like I said, he could be trolling. I don't know. But some people think he's being serious because this shit blew up. Hella people quote retweeted this, all that. So this is him saying, Toby Spider-Man can neutralize the entire Illuminati and Scarlet Witch if he desires. Yes, Toby is vulnerable to magic, but a genius who doesn't give out his tactics. He's a person who knows his strengths and will avoid conflict until he has an advantage. He would win.
He's gonna beat Wanda. He's gonna beat Wanda, who was about to kill Thanos, and this is not like Super Saiyan, like overpowered Wanda that we see at the end of WandaVision.
Exactly.
I mean, I agree with him though. Toby would win. You wanna know how he would win? You wanna know how he win? You wanna hear it?
With his organic webbing?
No. I got it. He would bully Wanda's kids. Oh shit! Never mind. She ain't got kids. Oops.
Oh my god! Did you see the post K-Dot put with his little fucking daishiki and the hat on? And
Did you not see me? I retweeted it.
I didn't.
I retweeted it. He said that. Well, he said Tom Holland steals from the black culture. And all that. Yeah, I saw that. It was it was funny though. I was crying when I saw this. Literally crying.
The waves.
Yes.
But you see, this is the problem with you DCU fans. You just try to make up narratives and come up with your own stories and shit. You know what I mean? And it's not cool, man. It's not cool.
It's really not cool. But go ahead, Eddie. Give us your thoughts.
You're saying that shit. Look how the MCU fans are acting right now because they didn't get what they wanted in terms of Multiverse of Madness. They've been losing their heads.
Right? Yeah, y'all. They expected more.
Are you really gonna bring up fans not getting what they want in a freaking
minds right now?
They're
over there pulling out their hair and stuff like.
Okay.
Why?
Has anybody ever heard of Restore?
Spider-Verse? And you know what's funny? Because even if we do complain, we still go support our movies. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we don't do that weird stuff.
We're not banning movies because a director didn't get to do the movie and shit like that. No, we going to watch our shit.
WZ says Toby would dance and drive her back to sanity. Listen to this. Hi, LB. Welcome. It says K-Dot. Got that pro-black, but got a white woman fit on him.
Tell him.
I'm down for a solo Wanda movie. I would love to see that. Like, I love Wanda Maximoff, you all know. And for me, like, seeing her in this film, like, and everything that she does, she's wrong. But for me, I feel for her. Because in the things that she wants her kids back.
You're biased towards Wanda. That's why you love her.
How am I biased towards Wanda?
Because you love her. She's your favorite character. You're your second favorite character. So, of course, you're going to feel her pain. But she's fucking murdering people for selfish reasons.
AMBW says...
Did you hear my point about how I never want Wanda to have a redemption arc ever?
I don't
necessarily want her to necessarily have one. Maybe near the.
I know she's going to get one, but I don't want her to have one.
But I want her to stay. I want her to stay. I want her to be bad. I want her to be a villain.
Yeah.
It says AMBW says this movie was like going on a date with a super hot chick and thinking you're going to get laid. In other words, it's not the movie's fault you didn't get laid. Facts, right? It's really that is true. I mean, he broke it all the way down. That is true. And like, I want to say I was pleased and happy that all of these things were not happening in this movie. We got, and then I'm gonna introduce our
I wish
next
they did
guest.
happen.
We
So they
got a
can just
guest. I gotta
overshadow it,
introduce
right?
our guest, Dot. Okay. He's the chillest man on YouTube. Welcome, Chillmonger.
I got an introduction. I was like, oh, there must be someone else in the green room.
No,
Ashley,
Thank you, Ashley.
Can I,
I
can
appreciate
I,
you.
Can I give him the brother
Yes.
Hotep introduction? Can I give him the brother Hotep introduction?
You want me to do one for you?
No. Can I give him the brother Hotep introduction?
Oh yeah, go for it. Yes, absolutely.
Everyone, rejoice.
Uh-huh.
We have a young black king. Brother Chill has arrived to preach about how these white women.
No, he's not. No, he's not.
I love
Preach,
Elizabeth
brother
Olsen.
Chill.
Hey, listen.
Yeah.
I love diversity and everybody being represented. And I hate that sometimes they feel it needs to come at the expense of the white race. I don't mind it. If you want
I
to
beg your pardon.
No, I heard that she's getting a 7-picture deal, right? I keep hearing it.
Yeah. Yes.
Good. I don't know if some of that will be like TV shows. Imagine if it's like a 7-episode series. That's the 7 pictures. Imagine that.
Well, she actually said in like an article that if Wanda gets her own solo thing, it will be a film.
A movie, yeah.
So they're like hinting that the film is coming because she said if it's going to be a film. So I'm hopefully we'll get to see what happens to her at the end of Wanda at the end of Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. And for me, like I said, and kind of Dot, and I'm curious what Chill and Eddie have to think about this. I would like for her to stay a villain because I feel like if you like throw her in the next film and you just redeem her like that in the next movie, it's gonna like undercut like almost everything that in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness if you just don't let it sit there for a while.
Well, what's her motivation?
And look, if they do it, let's say they do.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know exactly where we're gonna leave with that redemption. But I would like for her to stay a villain, like especially if they like introduce mutants somehow and retcon some things and say, well, that the man that you thought was your father all along, he wasn't. This is actually your father, and then she like joins like the Brotherhood and teams up with Magneto, like that. Maybe that type of thing, like wanting to build that connection with her only living parent that she just finds out about. What do you think about that, Chill?
It works for me because family was what made her go dark. So more family would make her stay dark. Yeah. Brotherhood of Evil Mutants.
Especially when her father has that kind of ideology where he's like, you know what I mean? We're the superior race and stuff like that. So it makes sense that Wanda would latch onto that and go with it. So I'd be down.
I brought this up in my review and I was like, and they could have probably done this with that version of Wanda, but it would have been very interesting if in that dream sequence, though, when Xavier Hop jumped into Wanda's mind, he was able to like show her the other Wanda's life that she's taken over and show like Magneto, Quicksilver, and like show try to use it to help get her out of like get the evil Wanda out, not to use this Wanda for whatever she's trying to do, like she's a mother, blah blah blah, all that would have been a cool little tease to what can be. Not saying I had to do it, but it would have been pretty cool to see.
Eddie, how do you feel? I know you're really upset with Wanda and you don't want to see her face right now. And Tony, I'm going to get to your question in just a moment. What do you think, Eddie? Here.
I mean, I don't know if I exactly, I don't hate her or anything. It's just that I'm mostly disappointed in her actions. It's like, you can't be a hero anymore. I'm sorry. After everything you've done, redemption is going to happen. I know how the MCU is, but I truly don't feel like she deserves it.
But I think a few films later would be good, though.
Yeah, but like, I'm sorry. I'll always be in back of my mind. Her killing innocent people and killing people just to kill them, like not even caring at all or feeling guilty about it. I mean, yeah, she did do that thing in the end, but like obviously she's not dead. But like I said, I watched the movie, of course. her performance and Multiverse Man. It's just that I'm sorry, you're not a hero to me anymore. You did too much damage, and yeah, I'm still interested. I'm still invested in the character to see what happens forward. But at the same time, I'm not gonna pretend like I'm not gonna come into Avengers whatever, and then when Wanda appears, yay, it's Wanda. Like, yeah, you can help, but you better not stay afterwards because you probably get wanted and shit.
Yeah.
Get your ass out of here. Take your ass somewhere.
Yeah, after you're done helping, yeah, you can use the raw power, but after you're done, you're not going to the Avengers picnic after they defeat Galactus or some shit. Like, get out of here. But like I said, I watched the movie. I don't know what it would be about. I am interested to see it if it does happen.
And I agree with you.
I think the only way for me to like see for a redemption arc to happen, the hero themselves have to do something to make amends with the people they have harmed. Like, this is why I wish to happen to Tony, but whatever, it's not. So we can do it Wanda, but she, I don't know, willingly if with the Sokovia Corps is like, yo, we're gonna put Wanda in containment, lock her up, and she willingly accepts it. And then when the heroes come to her, like, yo, Wanda, we need help, and we feel like this would be a great opportunity for you to do something and get yourself back out there, show the people that they can trust you.
Yeah, she definitely belongs on the raft now.
Like Wanda herself has to take accountability. She can't just like go to this cabin here, disappear for like 7 months. Like, I'm all better now.
Yes, I agree.
But see, the thing is, Wanda did so much shit. Like in WandaVision, she had kids fucking locked up and shit. And now in this one, she's killing fucking people. No, man, keep her bad. I think that's.
I want to keep her bad too. Like, keep her bad. I'm just saying,
Elizabeth Olsen killed it. I think her best acting was when she was bad. So keep her bad.
I do want to read Braille's point right here. He says she's the most popular MCU female character. They're not going to keep her as a villain. He thinks. My thing here is I think a lot of people, the new Wanda fans that came in really kind of were upset with the fact that there was a lack of vision. But I know a lot of people really liked her in the film. So like if her character being like this villain is popular, they might keep it that way for a while is what I'm thinking, in my opinion. It's just like what's going to be the reception for her character. And I think that eventually down the line, you then can redeem her. Just like I feel like they're setting up Dr. Strange to have like a Tony Stark moment where he's going to make some type of sacrifice in the end. Just because I feel like he's like the guy right now in the MCU. What do you all think about that?
Well, he is supposedly corrupted by the Darkhold, right? So he's gonna get bad and then do good or something like that. You know what I mean?
I'm still on Wanda's the most popular. When did this happen? Because Black Widow would have been the most.
Right now, she's the most popular female.
I mean, but you think about it, Wanda had a slow following. Like after Infinity War, that's when she became like more and more and more popular. And then
I'd say after Endgame,
and then I was gonna say Infinity War started it. No, really, Infinity War did start it.
But in between,
I remember being in those conversations with people and like people on social media loving Wanda.
But that's when the Wanda call was like 5 people. It was small.
No, it was not. Endgame made it bigger, and then WandaVision like blew it out. I'm telling you, Infinity War did it first. I know.
I don't think it was Infinity War.
Brother, listen to your brother. I am telling you.
I don't think it was Infinity War.
Neither do I.
Oh, of course.
Endgame.
Okay.
When who?
Okay, you're gone.
Everything
you're
from
gone.
me.
There we go.
When she said,
you gotta agree with me, guys.
You took everything from me.
That's
when it was oh my gosh, Wanda.
I think it was WandaVision.
Infinity War. No, it was
WandaVision.
It was before WandaVision. It was before WandaVision because WandaVision brought in a lot of new fans. Okay, I remember.
Actually,
I'm telling
you, it was Infinity War.
No. Actually, I do agree with.
She made that sacrifice.
Yeah,
it was Infinity War. And then when she came back in Endgame and did that to Thanos, then everybody realized how powerful she was.
Yeah.
What about what Captain Marvel did to Thanos? He tried to headbutt her. It didn't work on her. She's appearing in Shang-Chi. She's probably going to be in the Ms. Marvel show. Like, she's not too far off from what Wanda's doing. She may be
she's not
unliked.
far off when it comes to like power scaling, but like people is the thing is with her, unfortunately, is people don't like Brie Larson.
Yeah.
So they don't like Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
And
No,
then a
people
lot of
don't
people
like
don't
women.
understand. Yeah, that is true. That is true. And then a lot of people don't understand, like they were like, well, she had no personality and she did and all these other things about her character, but they don't understand Carol Danvers, a whole lot. But I feel like Captain Marvel, the film, had a lot of issues, but to me, it's not like the worst of the worst because I think there's a lot of good things in the movie. I just think the story was sloppy,
It's better than Eternals.
But I don't think that Brie Larson was horrible is Captain Marvel.
But in the popularity contest, Wasp, Gamora, Black Widow. Who is second?
Second?
It would probably.
Oh, gosh.
Maybe
is it
Gamora?
Maybe Nebula. Maybe I think people like Nebula more than they like Gamora.
I don't know about that. I don't know about no Nebula.
Yeah,
I think after Endgame, a lot of people like Nebula.
A lot of after Endgame.
They like her more than they like Gamora. They do.
The only
like
MCU women I see in rotation be Scarlett Johansson, Elizabeth Olsen, sometimes Lupita Nyong'o.
Nah,
I don't believe that one either.
Maybe
or Shuri.
Okoye, maybe.
They're really the only two I see in
just
like
because like she's building up
Twitter,
like this bad like just because like the way
Kate Bishop. It's Kate Bishop.
Yeah,
it's Elizabeth.
I think
Kate Bishop and Scarlett Johansson right now.
People love Katie Seinfeld. People love Haley Seinfeld.
Yeah, that's what I say.
They really do.
The most
they really do.
About right now. It's them. It's those three. They're the big three.
I don't.
That's why when Black Panther 2 dropped, and these fans started to see my black queens. Now,
Riri Williams.
I'll get knocking white women out. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. I don't know because when Sue Storm comes, I'm pretty sure she'll be popular.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. When she comes, this is gonna be like. It's gonna be like Wanda versus Sue Storm. Is what is what's gonna happen. But I think that like Captain Marvel has the ability to like maybe redeem herself a little bit, and maybe people like Brie Larson's portrayal maybe the second time around and get on board with her as a character. I think a lot of people going back. I do want to go back to another question in actually because Tony asked, "Do you all think that Monica still feels sorry for Wanda at this point?" I don't think so. I think that she gave her another opportunity really to change, and she understood her grief, but I think that was when she was just kind of holding people hostage. Now that she's actually murdered like innocent people, I don't think Monica's going to stand by her side. And that's the next question leading into Monica. Do you all think that Monica has that ability to like take over and be the more popular female character in the MCU?
Ooh.
I don't know.
I really liked Monica Rambeau. I loved her in WandaVision. I loved her personality. I loved Tiana Parrish in the role. I felt like she kind of like you could feel like that grief in like where she'd been snapped away from 5 years in that time that she lost with her mother, and then like just being this badass at her job and like determined. So I mean, like for me, Monica Rambeau is probably my favorite new character that
I'm excited to see her. To be honest with you, I'm excited to see her in the movie.
I would agree. No, I would agree with that about Monica. But the thing about it, I'm gonna sound like a jerk right now. But the fact that I'm gonna say it's gonna be manufactured hate because she does have association with Captain Marvel. The same with Miss Marvel. So obviously, I think that will make lots of people hate those characters. This is the fact that they keep on interacting with Captain Marvel, the big X factor that a lot of people don't like. So like,
but people might. But they might like it at first because, like, right now, Monica is upset with Carol.
Yes.
So they might like her. Chillmonger, what do you think? Do you think Monica Rambeau has a chance to like kind of like become one of the most popular characters, female characters in the MCU.
Oh yeah, if Wanda can get boosted off a TV series, then Monica Rambeau can also. I don't agree with Captain Marvel 2's new name. I actually don't even recognize it and refer to it as Captain Marvel 2 because I feel like the inclusion, like I said when brother K Dizzle just introduced me, like I love when we get black characters and I love that stuff. I hate when it comes at the expense of somebody white. Why are we mixing the movie's title to include, look, we're inclusive because she's not the only Marvel in town. No, it's Captain Marvel too. You want to do something for Monica? Give her own film, give her own series, preferably a film because it gets more budget per time. So like that's the way we do it. So Monica Rambeau can be more popular. In my opinion, no, she's not more popular to Wanda than me, but she can get there.
It's gonna get hard out. You guys think this is gonna be easy with Olsen being on top, but once they introduce, I'm keep telling you, it's gonna happen once we see stuff like Sue Storm, Jean Grey, Rogue Storm. It's over.
Yeah. That's where the powerful women are. You know,
especially if they do. If they do
Wanda,
them right,
you know, that's where she comes from. You know, you know, so it's like all these, you know, amazing women are in the X-Men. So
especially if they do them
except
right.
for, you know, in Sue, you know, she's in the Fantastic Four. But
If,
I agree. Like
if they do
let's see
Rogue right,
Storm.
I think a lot of people really want to see a good Rogue, and if they do Rogue right, I think she could be like the number one character.
But it's not happening. It's a team movie. She'll pop up in there. You don't have enough time to do her right.
Nah, that's not necessarily true. I think they could.
I just think when
I just think when they do the X-Men, they gotta stay away from Wolverine for a while.
Yeah.
And put other X-Men in the forefront.
That's a lot of money
to stay away from Wolverine. Yeah, I know.
It's gonna be game breaking once they introduce all the X-Men, especially the women. They will have more women in the MCU as well, and then the debates really be fun about who's more powerful.
Job Diaz is in the Multiverse of Madness. They never explain how she got that powerful in that short of time period between WandaVision and Multiverse of Madness. I get that they don't give us a whole lot of information. They just give us that post-credit scene, but we see that she, you know, at the end of WandaVision, she actually had, you know, says, I'm going to go study this, you know, so I can understand, you know, more about my powers and who I am, right? And then she goes off to that cabin and we see her, you know, reading the Darkhold, you know, and studying the spells within that book. And that's where the corruption begins. And I think that possibly, like, again, this is inferring, possibly where she is a Scarlet Witch, she's able to pick up on that stuff pretty quickly. It's just the way that I looked at it. So to me, it seemed like a natural progression because we see her at the end of the film with the Darkhold, reading the book. So for me, Job Diaz, I felt like it made sense. Does anybody have anything else to add here?
No, I agree with you. I think it's implied that she's as powerful as she is because of the Darkhold. You know what I mean? Because she's corrupted by it. So I think that's where the power comes from. So I wasn't mad that they didn't give like a full explanation of why she's so powerful. I just assume it's because of the book.
And also, we can't think about how powerful she was in WandaVision. She created a whole hex of a town and like enslaved people in this town. You know, created Vision out of memories and love, and then created children out of nothing. Not out of a memory, nothing. Nothing.
And almost beat Thanos. You know what I mean?
So I feel like that her power scaling. I'm worried about later when it gets down to like once they show us like these characters how powerful they are in like one film, and then we see them 5 more films down the road. The power scaling, you know, they'll be overpowered here, depowered here, and then like with Vision, though, it kind of makes sense because he was a peacekeeping initiative, and so him fighting and in combat was like the last resort for him. That wasn't his first line of defense. So to me, it made a lot of sense. Anybody have anything to add? I do want to hear Chill's thoughts there
about power scaling.
No, about like the whole question about, you know, did it make sense in WandaVision and going into Multiverse of Madness? Did you understand the power scaling? Yeah, and power scaling, so it's 2-parter.
I mean, look, there's only one thing I question about Wanda's power. Like, I'm okay with where the power she's at. I fear moving forward, just like Doctor Strange, Vision, and many other OP characters, they're going to keep they're going to be powerful 1 minute, weak here, powerful here, weak here. It's going to be a constant
depending on the story.
And it's going to get to the point like, why are they even in this story if you're not going to have them be as powerful as you need to be, or you need to change certain factors? But the only thing, as far as power goes, I question about Wanda is like, it's like, why can't you just make kids? I mean, you can do all this shit. You can't make no kids. Like, come on. But that's about it. I like her power. I like where she's at. But that's the only thing I question about her power at the moment. I'm fine with it. I don't see no issue with it. Unless it gets to the point where, just like many other characters, strong 1 minute, weak the next. So
I just go with the fact that she can't create kids. You know what I mean? Like, she wanted real kids, I guess, and she couldn't do it. But my only issue was it was something that was brought up last night. I was like, all she had to do was, create a new hex where nobody was, and she could have lived her life with kids. She could have created the new kids and lived her life like that.
That's what I could never leave outside the hex.
Right.
Yeah, well, that's what I was saying. Is at the beginning of the movie, when she clearly mastered the hex, the place she was at was a hex.
Yeah.
And I was like,
could not go outside. But if she hasn't mastered, which it seems like she should at this point, how to let the kids leave outside the hex, the kids existed, and they were even questioning why they weren't allowed to go outside of it past a certain street. You're gonna tell me that these kids are gonna be like, "Hey, mommy, don't we ever leave this place?"
Yeah,
or attempt to leave.
All right, then hear me out, because this is why I think the movie honestly should have been. She should have been trying to put a hex around the planet.
Well, no, not even that.
That would have good one. Around it, and so the kids can, so they can literally have it to themselves. They can turn everybody to whatever they want. Wanda's still crazy, so it makes sense that she would kind of do this. I mean, she's crazy enough to do it. She's already going to a different, wanting to jump through multiverses to kill a Wanda, take her place, and be hers and have these kids. I was like, I think the plot of the movie should have just been her putting a hex around the planet itself.
Yeah,
not
but to be honest with you, not even that, Kata, because she could have created the hex, and she could have created with a whole bunch of new people in there, like created people, created stores. She could have created in a way to where the kids never really wanted to have
to go that far.
Could have a whole town.
But what did she say? What does Agatha say? And I want to get Chill's thoughts too on this. Children, you can't control them, and the only way she could control the kids that lived in that subdivision, right, in Westview,
is that
if they could not leave the room. She kept them because it's harder to control their minds in the things that they do, right? Chill.
Yo, I don't even know where to go with this. Like, it's magic. Magic means magic, so she can't have kids because magic, those are the rules. She wanted to have her real kids, and at the end of the movie, she figures out, well, even if I do come to the 838 and I get these kids, they're not going to treat me like the mom. So having real kids mattered to her at least that much, where she could realize, okay, I'm not the real mother. I see my wrongs. And then, what's it called? Windermore collapses on her.
Wondergore.
That one. Yeah. And so, all right, magic. I don't know. I don't like it because it's magic and it's consequenceless. And it's also multiverse, so anything can happen anywhere. People can die and nothing matters. So that aspect of it is lame to me. What'd you say about WandaVision that you were asking about Agnes?
Well, I was talking about when I was bringing up Agatha, when she was talking about not being able to control children, like it's harder to control them when they were like, oh, well, that she could just create these children and then make it where they never want to leave the hex, or but what I'm saying is that we see the children within the show, they ask why they can't even go beyond a certain street. So you think that you're telling me that these kids are going to live in this hex and never try to leave?
Well, because Wanda needs the thing was that there was a right. So she made the hex, right? She made the hex.
but around her, there's so much of a radius that people can go in. Like once Vision got too far, even out the hex, and Wanda couldn't really tell, like, oh, that Vision is at the outer edges where people are at. So she couldn't control like her. She made the hex, but she couldn't control like the radius of people within it.
So it was farther away from her.
At this point,
farther out of the hex.
But at this point, after the 9 months, she should be able to do all that.
And it's proven.
Make the hex and make the hex bigger too.
During WandaVision,
she did. She made the hex bigger.
She strengthened the hex there, and then during this Doctor Strange movie, he entered her hex. He didn't even notice he was inside of it. There wasn't no red wall all across. It's not until she flubbed. She said the name of America that she goes, "Okay, good, abracadabra."
He does question it though.
I think he did.
Remember, he does question it. You remember because he says to her,
"The flower smells real."
He said it almost smells real.
Yeah.
So he was kind of knew that he
wasn't a bullshit like hex thingy. Because if that's the case, let's say because for him to even walk into that, let's say Wanda made a hex.
Did he fly in, portal in, or walk in?
We don't know. We don't know how really.
But if this is 9 months later and Wanda mastered things, read the Darkhold and stuff, she would know if somebody's coming inside the hex. So I think Strange did a spell to get inside the hex anyways, and just went there and kind of like played her just a little bit to see what's up with her. You know, I think he knew what he was getting into because he wouldn't go there.
See, I don't. I think he didn't realize 100%. Like I thought that she created this hex, you know, but I don't think that he realized that she was the one behind everything until she let that you know the America thing slip. But Tony asked a question. He says, if Wanda puts a hex around the world, don't you think the Celestials will interfere?
No, because Arishem doesn't.
They don't usually interfere.
If there's deviants and and they don't get involved.
No.
Anybody else have anything?
I just don't want it.
I don't either. Does anybody want to see anything from them again?
What, the Celestials?
I don't want to see Arishem. I don't want to see Arishem again. I want to see.
Do we want to see Circe again?
I don't want to see the Eternals, but I want to see some Celestial stuff because they showed the Living Tribunal's head in that, and I want to, I hope they explain that in the movie. So
I think that's a tease for something later down the road because
it was definitely a tease. Yeah, definitely a tease. But I want to see them explain it because now we know that there is a Living Tribunal, right? So.
Because they thought about bringing it in Infinity War. Y'all remember hearing that they thought about, and and Thanos going in front of the Living Tribunal, to be judged, like Dr. Strange taking him there, and then them judging, but them still judging in Thanos' favor, was the original concept, but they went against that. So I believe that the Living Tribunal is definitely coming. And I do have one more question because I really wasn't planning on talking about Dr. Strange, but we really didn't get to this one question. I do want to ask you guys before we get into Kevin Samuels and that debacle. Do you all think that the film did a good enough job explaining what an incursion is within the MCU?
Yeah, definitely. They said that when two universes crashed into each other. Then we went to that one world where it actually did happen. Yeah, it's very...
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yes, it was explained by Mr. Fantastic. It was furthered even when he was saying goodbye to Christine. She was like, that'll be a hell of an incursion. Like, they cemented incursions are bad things. And they're things that you would sacrifice love for.
And then towards the end credit scene, he's going off because he created one, right? So
yeah.
And
Dot,
I think for me, I think the incursion things make sense, but I kind of want to wait until Loki season 2 to see what the TVA, this new reformed TVA, will say about this stuff. Because technically, by this logic of what Loki was, they was pruning these other universes, so these other Kangs don't come out of nowhere. But with these incursions, I think they explained it well. It's just like, does that line up with the TVA stuff? Like these incursions happening, like would they even allow these incursions to happen?
But I think the incursions was explained well in this movie. I mean, well, whatever Strange did, he killed a. What did he do again? He read the Darkhold.
He dream walked into his corpse. Remember, using the Darkhold,
and that destroyed
Right.
the universe.
Well,
you
it
see,
caused
I think
it's the beginning of an incursion, because what we see in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is, it seems
Yeah,
like,
I'm trying to remember like what
What
exactly he
If,
did to destroy.
what we saw, the destruction of a universe. It seems like it's a slower process,
Yeah, you see,
because even when we see Strange Supreme or Evil Strange, he it seems like the incursion is not completely finished. It seems like everything's still colliding into one another in that. So it seems like it's a slower process.
right. And what I was gonna say is, they don't explain exactly how the incursions happen. Like, why does it happen when they walk like that? But I think they explain enough of it to know that it's not a good thing. And from the comics that's what starts Secret Wars, right? So
Yeah. Yes, it's when two planets collide, and then they all.
yeah.
Eddie, go ahead. You guys give me 1 second. Eddie, talk. Dot. I'll be right back. I just gotta grab something real quick. Okay.
Go ahead.
She got to
Eddie.
grab
Eddie
something
thoughts.
quick, fast, and in a hurry.
Quick, fast, and in a hurry. Whenever you get through.
Yeah. No, I listened throughout the movie, obviously, about the incursion part. I guess they gave us enough exposition about what it went down, or at least we saw it, obviously, with those two universes overlapping, all that stuff causing mayhem and destruction. Like I said, I think they should talk about it more in the future when it comes to something of that scale. But I think they did a fine job explaining it. Sinister Strange explained it. Immortal, I think, explained some of it too. Reed Richards explained it. But it's just like, it's fine. It's fine for now. Like I said, I really don't have to worry about it for now until later on, when they keep on pushing forward right now during this phase. But it's like I'm okay for what they gave us. I guess I get it.
Yeah, and we also have to see what the new TVA, this kind of reformed one's new way of pruning universe is going to be. Because technically, because technically it's not supposed to be these other universes. The only universes are back now because of the Loki show. So we got to see what the TVA's new mission is going to be about these universes, how to police them and stuff.
I mean, they were talking about the multiversal war, and then at the end of Loki season 1, everything started branching off from the secret timeline. Everything started getting effed up. So I hope, like, there was one criticism I saw. I don't know if you guys saw that. Well, the people that were not quote unquote complain, but when people were coming back at them saying, well, you had your expectations too high. I'm pretty sure even I thought about this, and everyone else did, that Loki, WandaVision, and No Way Home were going to lead up to this film, but then nothing really happened to that scale. It was just a simple plot of Wanda wanting her kids back.
Yeah, I kind of expect, because I remember it was like some rumors of like Loki was supposed to be in Multiverse Madness. That it was rumors, but it would have kind of made sense for like Loki, the TVA, and like even Wanda, for all this stuff to be in this one film.
Yeah,
that's what I was thinking. Like all this stuff was going to eventually collide, and not say we see Kang.
Yeah,
but the TVA, all these people are like linking up because multiverse of.
No, I get that, but like WandaVision had hints of the multiversal stuff, but then Loki actually showed it, and then No Way Home obviously had it as well. So people were expecting like, Doctor Strange and Multiverse Madness to just do some crazy ass, shit with it. But I guess
I was just expecting a connectivity, but not like nothing. But not like they had to be there, but it would have probably made more sense if this was a movie centered more around
TVA. Not just them, not just them being there, but like the scale of the actual movie itself. Like like some crazy shit happening. Like it's like some Avengers level ass movie, but it's a Doctor Strange movie. That's what I guess I'm trying to say.
I do want to read this comment from Job Diaz. It says, I hope meddling with the Darkhold has some type of consequence on the MCU outside of the Multiverse of Madness, like introducing characters like Mephisto and Ghost Rider.
I know that shit gone now. Shit gone. Darkhold's gone.
But it still opens the door for this darker, element to come through,
Mm-hmm.
Well, let me ask, there's only one Mephisto in the multiverse in the comics, or there's like multiple Mephistos in each universe? It's like
There's
one,
one.
like only. So there's one
only
miss.
one Mephisto. I mean, I don't know of multiple Mephistos.
I don't think they ever did a Mephisto multiverse story.
Well, no. Well, what I'm saying is like, is there
In these
Mephisto
different
in every universe?
universes that exist, Mephisto exists in these other universes.
Yeah,
is
like
what
that's
you're
what I'm at.
asking
Is
me.
there a Mephisto in every single universe in the comics?
There probably is
There's
a
just-
Mephisto in every universe, the same way there's an Iron Man.
Yeah.
But I thought there was one. From my understanding, there's one Mephisto. He's constant.
Okay.
Because this is the thing, right?
And
Mephisto could pop up as a result of like, yo, Wanda destroyed my Darkholds. Like, what's up? But
well, it's not Mephisto's Darkhold. I mean, it's Chthon's.
You know the MCU, they gonna say it's Mephisto's Darkhold.
Maybe they might go that route. But I'm just
They're
saying,
like, no, these Mephisto's Darkholds
I
now.
was
These
just
ain't Chthons no more. This Mephisto
making
shit.
sure that everybody knew.
But I honestly, I don't think there's gonna be much. Like, I feel like, all right, they destroyed these Darkholds, right? Wanda destroyed all of them. I don't think there's gonna be much consequence to it. As like, yo, destroyed my Darkholds. Like,
My Darkholds.
Yeah,
Say
somebody
just like that.
Yeah, my Darkholds. You know, whoever. I don't think somebody's gonna really care that Wanda really destroyed these Darkholds and stuff. Because if that's the case, whatever created it would have probably tried to stop Wanda in the process of her destroying this. Whatever evil entity created it, if it's still existing, would have tried to stop her from destroying it. So I don't think there's gonna be no consequence later. Just like Arishem. Like, if, let's say, Cersei, even though he didn't, but let's say if he was really being vigilant as he should have been, he would have probably popped up as soon as they tried to stop the Celestial from coming out and stopped them dead in their tracks. But he didn't. He waited until later. I'm saying, you know, if these Darkholds and stuff, if the being who created is alive, he or she would have tried to stop Wanda as soon as she was trying to destroy these items. Or maybe something could happen later, but I doubt it.
We got a few questions I want to get to. Braille has a question. Do you all think that Ant-Man 3 is a multiverse movie too?
Yeah.
To an extent.
Yeah.
I think that it's going to be dealing with
Quantum Realm movie.
Yeah, definitely Quantum Realm, and then dealing with time vortexes and time branches off in reality. I mean, Kang is here, so to me, I'm thinking that it's obviously building on that larger story. So I agree. I think it's going to be a multiversal film.
Well, I think Ant-Man is going to be more of a.
If it branches off, yeah.
Is it going to be more of a time travel movie or
okay?
A
Thanks, Chill.
Because that's the thing.
No, but that's the same thing though. The time travel, reality
travel.
They use different words for it, but it's all the same thing. There was even a conversation Dr. Palmer was given to Strange about explanation, and she was saying the word reality and universe interchangeably.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Anzo, what do you think about it?
And that's they need to pick a word
and then I have a backup question. I have another question
and run with it. Call it one thing.
After we get through this one, Anzo.
Yeah.
What do you think about Ant-Man 3? Is it going to be a multiverse film?
I think it's going to have elements to it because there's Kang in there, right? So they're going to have to, go back to some of the stuff in Loki. So I think it's going to be elements to a multiverse movie. That's for sure.
Eddie Betty with the blanket. What do you think?
I think so. Since Kang's the beater, so there'll probably be multiversal stuff, time travel stuff, different alternate timelines of him being a conqueror, all that stuff that you see in the comics. It's gonna be like that in the film. I mean, I don't mind it. I mean, it's kind of weird for an Ant-Man film to revolve around that. To be honest, if you think about it, but it makes sense with the quantum realm stuff. They'll probably add that stuff into it. But like, I'm on board. It is what it is.
All right. So my next question, because we're talking about terms, is a Nexus event the same thing as an incursion?
No, well, a Nexus.
I'm asking because what we hear about TVA when a Nexus event, it's slightly a Nexus event. What is a Nexus event and incursions are not the same, in my opinion, because a Nexus event destroys one specific universe,
Dr. Strange
reality,
in episode
and an
4,
incursion collides. But I know I saw a lot of people like, are they the same thing? So I just wanted, to hear what your all's thoughts. Is there a confusion when it comes to those two things? Because it seems like some people are confused. Dottie.
Well, I think you can call. So in Nexus event is Doctor Strange and having his universe implode on him in episode 4, right?
That's actually an incursion. Well, it was a Nexus point.
And what if
Christine's death was a Nexus point.
No. I'm not talking about the point, but like the event when he.
It was a Nexus because he destroyed the reality.
Yeah, so that's the Nexus event. Okay, I think you can call the incursion. I guess you can call the cause of it. Like, I think you can probably call it a Nexus event. I mean, it is another universe imploding onto another universe and destroying it in a sense. I guess you can call it one, but I guess it depends how often it happens.
I was just trying to see like what you thought, because really an incursion is two colliding, right?
Yeah, two colliding,
and a Nexus is the destroying of a reality.
Yeah.
And Chillmonger.
I think that they're gonna dance away from that because look, Michael Waldron wrote Loki first, then he wrote this one. We didn't hear words like variant and Nexus and any of that.
Yeah, we heard other me, which I would rather have heard variant. Sorry,
but I think the reason,
that's the thing too.
Yeah, wait, let Jill finishes.
He
sorry.
wrote himself into a corner, and now he's going, okay, cool. I'm just gonna stick with comic book Jonathan Hickman. We have incursions. All that matters from the Loki show right now is that we can always explain, hey, why didn't these incursion things happen? Well, it's because He Who Remains was keeping things alive. Now that He Who Remains is dead, madness can occur.
Absolutely. And that's what I heard. I heard a lot of the things that are happening is because He Who Remains died, right? So
yeah, Feige confirmed it.
Well, that's why the universes are back. There was no
Feige confirmed that once Sylvie killed He Who Remains, that was led to the things with the spell when that stuff went wrong, and He Who Remains wasn't there to prune those timelines. So that's why we're here. So that was the beginning
a
of
story
it.
like that could happen if Loki didn't happen. Like No Way Home, Strange would probably did that wish, and there wouldn't be no other beings from another universe coming because they don't exist.
He Who Remains would be there.
Well, what I was gonna say is the reason why we probably never heard variant is the same reason why we never heard them say the snap, right? Because we know it as fans, that's what they call it, but in the whole universe, they don't really have a name for it. So that's probably why he never said variant, or they don't say the.
Well, technically, the TVA only calls people variants.
Right, exactly.
They're a private organization. Like nobody knows about them. Well,
Loki does.
Loki does. We don't know if some of the
guys Sylvie and some other people. Sylvie knew, but she was a victim of them. She was able to escape.
Sylvie only knows because she got captured, and then she's able to get away because Ravonna's trash and doesn't know how to stop kids. When she bit her hand.
What are your thoughts, Eddie?
Wait, about the variant thing or
about a Nexus event and an incursion?
If they're the same thing, that was a question, right?
Eddie, we're like doing this right now, right? He knows I'm joking with him. I love Eddie.
Thank you. Who doesn't? I like I said, I don't have that much knowledge on it, to be honest. I guess they're.
Did you watch Loki?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, then you got knowledge.
You got knowledge?
No, I'm just saying.
It's just your opinion.
No, I hardly remember anything, to be honest. It's when it comes to all that talk about the sacred timeline and the branches, all that stuff. In the multiversal war and all that explanation from this mother effer in the end.
What? What did you just say? Mother effer in?
I said this mother effer from in the end when he was giving that big monologue about what would happen if he dies and all that shit.
What up, Gaishka?
Yes, like I said, I agree with whoever. Let's see you then.
Peace, K-Dot.
We didn't get to talk to you about the last story. We got stuck on this.
If I can get to work in time, and I might be able to join at work.
All right,
I'll
well,
let
I'm
you guys
getting
know what's up.
to pull up the story here in just a second.
Yeah, I
but
agree with
hopefully-
the smartest take. That's all I'll say.
Okay.
The what?
The
The
smartest take.
Yeah, because
My take. Okay,
I
great.
guess.
You know me, I'm talking stuff, right? Okay, so did you all know about Kevin Samuels? Who Kevin Samuels is?
Before you get to that, you know how it is. Actually, when it comes to these Marvel films, people just come for the action, not the crappy dialogue.
I go for the story.
Absolutely.
I will say this: Wanda is very relatable to me. Even though she's a superhero and it's a movie, things that's happened to this character. Well, now she's a villain. Okay, Eddie.
And she'll stay that way because she doesn't deserve to be a hero again.
Gosh.
That cash as Elizabeth Olsen in the streets is over.
But I can relate to her. Certain things that she's experienced as a character.
You ever fell in love with this person with an English accent?
No.
That didn't sound like you were being honest.
I haven't. What are you talking about?
Just checking.
No, never, ever. No, they were all American.
Gotcha.
America. You know what I'm saying? That's where it's at.
Nah, we don't know what you're saying.
I think I understand, but I shouldn't say because it's probably like those real American people. You know what I mean? Like if they catch me,
where your papers
somewhere, if they catch me somewhere, it'll be over for me. I think that's what she means.
Oh yeah, because me. I love them. You know what I'm saying?
It's a Law and Order YouTube channel.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. That type of thing. But does everybody know who Kevin Samuels is? May he he passed away, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you all know who he is?
Not really.
I've seen a little bit.
High value male.
I saw when you were saying posted that day on Twitter.
That's
he's
what.
He's
that's
like
it.
the more who Fresh and Fit is, right? You all know who Fresh and Fit is?
Yes, I kind of know about them too.
Okay, well he's like Fresh and Fit, but he was like Fresh and Fit, but a little more. Alpha? I don't know if I would say refined. He wasn't.
I would say yeah.
But he still did very similar things.
Yeah,
he would have these females come on his show, and he would if they disagreed with him or if they were like women that's like, no, I value like working, and I want a man who values me and who's not caught up being in this alpha role. He would overtalk them and then kick them out, right? If to prove his point, to say, see, this is how these women are, and talk about women want these men who make six figures, which some women do, and a lot of times the women they were talking to were women of that caliber, but they would then pigeonhole all women
in
this
same category. Yeah,
right. Well, unfortunately, Kevin Samuels, for his family, he passed away a few days ago, and then on Twitter, and we all know what Black Twitter is, right? They all were cheering that this man died.
Celebrating his death.
And a lot of people was like, well, he was a shitty person in life. But so my question is, when someone dies, and should we honor and be respectful for the family and not get into a lot of the negative things that they've done? Or should we still call them out on their behavior? Showmonger, what do you think?
There's one etiquette for death, and it's to be quiet and respectful. So, sort of related to this is when Chadwick Boseman died. I was like, yeah, we got to recast T'Challa. However, I kept my mouth shut. I didn't say anything because for me to speak up after a guy dies, it's very insensitive. It's like I only see him for a role. So I took to that. Even when it was someone I wanted to live and I loved, I kept my mouth shut and I was respectful.
Absolutely.
Anzo, and I've heard you kind of speak about some of the things Kevin Samuels said that you don't agree with and things like
all
that.
The time.
But what do you think about people, going after him and attacking him and saying, yay, he's dead. What do you think about that type of behavior?
I think it's ridiculous. It's not like he went out there and hurt people, right? Regardless of what he was doing, in his mind, he was helping people. You know what I mean? He was helping men. Now, maybe the stuff he was talking about wasn't really like, I don't believe some of the stuff they say really helps us or the men. But the fact that the man died and to sit there and be like, oh, well, I don't agree with what he said. So, yeah, thank God he's dead is just, it's so insensitive. Especially, I just came back from a funeral on Friday, you know what I mean? And you see what death does to someone's family. So you should
Yeah.
have that shit in consideration before you just want to go and disrespect the man. And I don't respect anybody that did that. I really don't.
Eddie, what do you think? Because I want to go over some of the things on Twitter too here in a second. But what do you think here?
Well, I saw it when it went live. Once people started, having parades and saying thank God and this punk ass whatever is dead now and all that stuff. And look, from the stuff I read, from the stuff I've seen, yes, he was kind of unfair when it comes to a certain gender, and he was
Hmm.
kind of um look, he was a jerk. I'm not gonna lie, but obviously, even if I don't agree with it at all, and he was a bit he definitely was outspoken about it. It got lots of people angry, but that was his opinion on certain things when it comes to like role or gender roles or anything like that. But it's like if he died, I just I'm just gonna stay quiet. Even if I did hate his guts, I'll just be like I'm not gonna trash him because he died. Because I hate when people do that, to be
Hmm.
honest. But I'm just to keep quiet, and maybe if something dies down like after a while, like months or like maybe a year after he died, then I'll probably give my thoughts about it like afterwards. But like once they heard it like this, especially coming from his mother of all people, they were like, "Oh, thank God," and this and that. And I, it's hard because it's gonna happen to lots of like. I'm not trying to say he's a terrible person. Okay, I'm pretty sure. Yes, lots of people do see him as a terrible person because of the things he said, but like it's gonna happen with other people too. I can just imagine. I'm not trying to like say it's gonna happen within a year or two or three, but once Donald Trump kicks the bucket, you already know there's gonna be marching bands,
And
parades,
that wouldn't be
like
right
stuff
there
that's
there
gonna
either.
happen when
And
he
I
dies.
and I do not like that man. I
And
don't.
I was
Yeah,
thinking
but
about
Facts.
him this whole
Yeah,
time we were talking. I was thinking of him. I will be happy. I will not express the happiness in a tweet or something like that. But I'll
Right.
be cheerful that something bad is no longer batting anymore, whether it's him or whether it's anyone. I need president, honestly.
no, it's gonna be like that. Like I just imagine that. Remember the end of Return of the Jedi when all the world started celebrating and shit. That's what it's gonna look like when he dies, Donald
Hmm.
Trump. But
see,
no,
don't keep
no,
going,
no,
Eddie.
it's not. I'm like I said, it's not right to do. But like I said, you can't control everyone or how they feel because not everyone feels the same. Like yes, you could be like, well, yeah, he is a punk ass, whatever. But then someone else will be like, no, he's a this and that, this and that. Like you guys agree on the matters, but it's just like the execution of I guess loathing or hating the person. This is the same thing. I guess I don't know. I don't know how to really explain. I never really felt this way about people or expressed it this way when they died.
And then, like, I'm going to read this. It says, all I can say about Kevin Samuels is if you spend your time disrespecting people in life, don't be surprised at people disrespecting you in death. No matter how cruel it may be, the legacy you leave behind will be known by the fruit you bore while you were here. And I want to say this, like, for me, I don't like Trump. Like, we're going back to this Trump as the example. I don't think that me, and I don't like the man. I don't like his anything that he says stands for at all. But for me, I wouldn't cheer for anybody's death. I feel like that when you celebrate someone else's demise, that is karma that will be revisited back upon you. So I'm never, no matter if I don't like the things that you stand for, there are people that care about that person, love that person, and you have to think about the people that are left behind that are grieving that loss. But Chillmonger's right. He might feel that way, but he's not going to express it, out loud or in a tweet.
Hmm.
But I would be like, okay, so this happened. No matter how I feel about the man personally, I can't like I would never cheer even in private for the man's death
Absolutely.
at all. And I don't like that man at all. Kevin Samuels, I feel like it was an attempt to like uplift men, but it was not. But it was coming from a place of ignorance, in my opinion, really and truly. And it was very ugly, the things that he would say. But at no point do I feel like it's okay to disrespect somebody in their death. Parco says Hot 97 said the same thing. Say if Trump died, they'd be talking shit on Twitter, celebrating.
Mm-hmm. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. And this is the thing, as much as you hate people, right, or don't like them or dislike them, you still, I mean, like Chill said, if you want to say, oh my gosh, hey, we got an evil out of this world or whatever, I completely understand that. But to go there on social media and this disrespect, have people retweeting, his family seeing all of that stuff, you got to be a heartless person to do that, man.
Yeah, and then he also, this is a very long thread of him just
Mm-hmm.
going in. He said everybody dies, so why are y'all crying over how people are reacting to his death? He's not here to read, see, or hear any of it. You can care because you don't want this to happen to you. Every day y'all go on and about wanting to leave a legacy. This was his. It's not about, and I think that that's what this individual is not understanding. It's not about what is being said about him and he can't hear it. It's about those people that are left behind. And I just brought
Mm-hmm.
up that point, that have to hear it. His mother that has to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
The people that care about him, his friends that have to hear it. Because regardless of, you know, publicly of how a specific person is portrayed and viewed, the people care about this individual, and so you really do need to be careful. He even says everybody dies and it doesn't matter in the end. Don't worry about making a mark on this earth. You do you will. Simply go on about your day treating people like shit, because when you do die, it won't matter in the long run. It will.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, he just keeps. I mean, and look, the thread goes on and on and on and on and on
Yeah.
for people.
And it's got 2,000 likes. So everyone who's on that. Oh, let me read what Warren said. Let's see that.
Where's that one?
Warren wrote there.
Oh, there's Warren. He says a legacy of starting a conversation that people are afraid to start. He told people of all races and gender the truth. It's funny how people only cherry pick how it was black people only. Newsflash, he wanted the best out of our culture.
Okay, so Warren must watch him. All I know is the clips. Maybe I've seen him 3 or 4 times in my life of him like denigrating someone black. But if he does it for everybody, cool.
Well, he does, and that's the thing. A lot of his clips are taken out of context. You know what I mean? But there are times where he's reasonable with some of the women that are on the show, where he's like, "Listen, if you want this type of man," and he explains to them, because a lot of the women come on there, and he's like, "Well,
And a
what
lot
type
of
of
them are
man do you
very
want?"
silly and dumb.
Right.
You have to admit.
Right. Like, what type of man you want? Well, I want a man who makes 6 figures. Well, what do you look like? You know what I mean? Oh, well, I'm 300 pounds. Well, then he's like, well, you're definitely not going to get that type of man. You have to be realized. And he tells people sometimes the truth. Sometimes I think a lot of the problem is his delivery of the way he says shit.
And
I Go ahead.
And I'm
But
going to say this.
Mhm.
I've heard that a lot. It's like, how often do I need to wear kitten gloves in the way that I say things to make you feel comfortable? Because maybe,
Right.
like, I feel like sometimes he would go out of to a left field, but sometimes if you just say things in a very like matter of fact way, people can be offended by that. And that's been
Hmm.
my experience. Like, I'm talking to you just like I'm talking right now, and you're saying something and I'm giving you my opinion back, or my thoughts on it, and then you can get offended because you don't like my delivery. Is that
Hmm.
my problem? If I'm not cursing at you, if I'm not going out of my way to be disrespectful, but you don't like the cadence of my voice or the way that I speak. It's a little silly,
Hmm.
that part of it. Um, but I don't know. Like, some of the things that I've seen, he has gone hard on some of these women, and then sometimes it just seemed like he was just being upfront too. But like, a lot of these women were extremely silly, in my opinion. Eddie?
Right.
Well, I just read the whole thread, and look, I agree. Like, it makes sense. Look, it makes sense if you spend all that time doing that shit. Obviously, you could have a big group of people that don't support you at all, and it makes sense after death. I don't condone it, but it's gonna happen either way. Especially the Twitter on places where people are assholes to anyone on Twitter. Like no matter how nice you are, no matter what you do, you're gonna get clowned on, you're gonna get attacked. So it makes sense that especially when it comes to this platform that we were just reading it from on screen. Yeah, it makes sense that that's gonna happen. Especially if you build up a bunch of people hating you through the years because of certain things you said. And like I said, I read it too that people, because I saw that for someone, it was a celebrity, I forgot his name, but this guy says something about the only reason why you're protecting him, or the reason why you're saying not for people to attack him post death, because you don't want the same thing to happen to you. Because either you agree with him about the stuff he said, or that kind of stuff could be problematic now. And if you have shown at least a good enough time saying, "Oh no, he's right," or "No, that stuff is truth," obviously you're probably gonna get attacked or at least clown on too post your death. So I agree that some people are probably like, damn, they're probably scared. Like, damn, if he died, but I agree with everything he said, and I even stated it myself, is that what's gonna happen to me? Like once I die, like it's a thing that's complicated, because obviously you won't know it's happening, but at the same time you're like, you don't want to get clown on it and be punked around post death. But I can agree with some of the stuff he said. The Twitter guy, but it is what it is. That's his legacy, I guess. He built up. Yes, it's a weird one, I guess, but that's what else can I say? It's Twitter. Twitter's gonna be Twitter.
Yep. I put a video there. So then this video, these are kind of the things that he says that people don't like, right? So you could listen to this video and you'll understand why people are triggered with him, but it's still not enough for you to be like celebrating the man's death.
Father, how do you think you can make your asset how do you think you can make your child an asset to the kind of man you want to marry?
How can I make my child an asset?
To the kind of man you would want to marry?
I feel like I would have to train her to be an asset, as in get her ready for life in general. Put her in classes, make sure she's smart, make sure she's not, put in that time to make her a better person. Correct? Am I right?
No, the question is how to make your child an asset to that man. That makes her an okay person. But how can you adopt? And this is a question also all women are going to have to answer for themselves. How are my children benefiting you as my husband?
I never thought about that.
Well, and that's the problem.
What would you suggest? I'm just wondering because
I would say it's going to be extremely difficult. But what I would suggest is women who actually think about it from the man's side, understanding that my child today is a liability because it costs. So number one, is she well-mannered, well-behaved, smart, taken care of? Does she understand, and do I really believe that you're going to come second to my husband? Mm-hmm. Is my husband going to come first? Or is it we're a package deal? If you're a package deal, that's no deal. I'll be honest, it's a package deal, that's no deal, because let's say you and I were to get married, you got a daughter, right? Mm-hmm. Let's say we have 2 kids together, and your child is 5. So 10 years from now, your daughter comes home and said, Kevin touched me, looked at me getting out of the shower. What happens next?
The relationship would have to end.
Huh?
That's not something the relationship would end immediately.
Because your daughter said I looked at her getting out of the shower. Kevin touched me, looked at me getting out of the shower. Kevin touched me, looked at me getting out of the shower. So that means I should never listen to it. That means I should avoid women like you, because off the rip, your desire to defend your child blew up. You got 2 of my kids, and off rip, your protective instinct says everything, including those other 2 kids.
Understood.
Do you?
Mm-hmm. No,
you said the relationship would have to end. So what would you tell our 2 children?
That's a tough situation.
No, you said the relationship would have to end. So
it would have to end because
but what would you tell
any of my kids? If I had 3 kids, 1 by someone else and 2 by my.
But what I'm telling you, what I'm saying is what we tell our 2 children.
Come to a situation and we have to part ways.
You get the fuck out. You can get the fuck out.
Because I'm not the one paying the bills.
No, because you're not taking my kids. See, that's what I mean. Y'all act like y'all got too much power.
It's not power. I'm really
First of all, you didn't even. First off, you didn't even. I just said if she said it, you didn't even question whether or not the claim was there. Because that's your child. That's why I'm saying your child can never be an asset to anybody. Ask me to treat your child like it's biologically mine when you be willing to blow up my biological children's shit or something else. And you know kids can say anything.
They can, but you have to protect your kids at all costs.
Then
you have to talk.
Then no. Leave. No. Let's switch the situation. If I'm that child's biological father, and she comes out of the shower, and 10 years later, Daddy looked at me a certain kind of way, and I'm her biological dad, then what do you say?
It still has to end.
But you notice how you couldn't pull rank on me? You couldn't pull that. We got to separate. You couldn't pull rank on me. You couldn't pull biological rank. You want to, but you're like, well, damn, it's his kid too.
It would have to be an end situation as well.
And you'd have to get the fuck out. And you'd have to get out. And you'd have to get out.
Understood. I completely understand that.
So the end would be for who? You believe. This is why you don't deal with women with children, because, especially in our community, there is no blending families when this kind of stuff comes up. Because single mothers are too used to pulling rank. Okay. This is why single mothers are potentially so dangerous, because you're not used to having to actually split the responsibility. It's your child. And that's fine. But then why should any man have to deal with that?
Wow.
So I feel sorry for you ladies, but this is the positions a lot of women put themselves in, and then we're supposed to do what about it? Because if it was biologically my child, you
put yourself in that situation.
Why
exactly.
would you not question your child?
I put myself in my situation.
Girl, whatever, that's your daddy. Girl, whatever, that's your daddy. Girl, whatever, that's your daddy. Girl, whatever, that's your daddy.
But you see, the problem with this is he's making it seem like biological parents or biological fathers don't touch their kids.
Yeah.
Which they do, right? So I understand people are hating on him because of certain things like this he says. Right? It's weird. The stuff he says, it's weird. But that's that manosphere stuff. But at the same time, does that still deserve you sitting there trashing the man because he's dead? You know what I mean? Like, his opinions suck. I agree with the 100%. I listen to some of his shit, and I'm just like, nah, that's garbage. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, a man still lost his life. So.
Yeah, I don't agree. Like, to me, that was like so like weird, and you didn't hear half the things I said because I was muted. But I'm thinking, what and why are you saying these things? Right. Yeah, and maybe like if my child. Like, if I heard that, I would be like, look, did this happen? Speaking with my child, and if my child told me that, I'm probably going to believe my child.
Absolutely.
Because just from life experiences, So, like, my child doesn't need to be an asset to you, right? At all. If anything, you do try to blend the families, but if you do something against my child, who is not your child, then also it makes it look like that you think that my child that's not yours, and if I have these other kids with you, like the example that he was trying to bring up, in your mind, they have more value than my other child. So it's like,
exactly.
So what are you saying here? Really? Because the way your example is, these children over here are more valued. And if it was your child, then you know, she's got to leave. She doesn't pay the bills. And I don't understand, like, I guess in these situations, they don't contribute to the household. They're not involved. That they
Yeah.
just depend on the man, which to me is a faulty situation altogether. Like, you know, if there's two people in the home, two people can contribute, you know, unless, you know, something's going on and one's not working for a little while. But I'm always an advocate, you know, have your own shit anyway, you know, because if you're in a situation where someone is, you know, you're an asset, then it's not only your child, but you're also an asset, and you're just like something that they're collecting and owning instead of like really trying to have a true relationship. And I think that that's his mentality. It's like he owns these women. Like he owns, it's like a property. It's like a it's like a trophy that he can put up on his mantle and be like, look at my shiny trophies that are upon my mantle. You know, what, instead of like, what are you bringing and what is the other person bringing? It's all a one-sided thing. So yeah, he said some wild, ridiculous stuff, I will admit. And I feel like sometimes it's dangerous to a lot of younger men who are listening to this type of thing. Go ahead, Chillmonger.
His whole point here was that women are not ready to co-parent because they'll always feel like they got the sole ownership of the kid, which makes sense to me because it's their kid and it's not the new guy's kid. But
he went to an extreme. Like, I think that not everyone, I think some people don't have the ability to possibly co-parent, right? But he made he went to such an extreme example. He didn't go to, you know, Susie, you know, I told Susie to go clean her room and she got in my face and said, "You're not my daddy, F you." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He went to an extreme thing that can be perceived as, you know, possibly, you know, a sexual situation with a child, you know, pedophilia. So I think that that's like an extreme example, in my opinion, because you have an ability to co-parent with someone else when you bring somebody else into your relationship. But when you're saying, hey, you just got out of the shower and I looked at her, that is an extreme. I think that that's beyond reasoning and being able to co-parent if that type of situation happened. Now, if the child is being disrespectful or got in trouble, and then the other person is like trying to have a conversation with them and trying to explain to them what they did wrong, and the other one is just backing up their child, that's a different situation, right? Is what I think, Jill.
The second takeaway is that he was saying no, and I wanted to hear him explain himself, but the video cut because that wasn't the goal. The objective of this was to make him look bad.
Absolutely. Absolutely, 100%. That's why I said a lot of his videos, like, you got to watch his full shows and his full context to get the full narrative, because sometimes they clip out this stuff. It's just that some of the stuff he did say in this was kind of like, that's kind of cringe, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, what we're talking about is, even though he says these stuff, like, does he deserve all the backlash that he's getting online because he passed away? I don't think so.
No. I don't think so. I think that some of the things that he said, to me, at times were slightly dangerous, right? Just like because you're putting that out there and you're trying to teach that, you know, to men, and you're not teaching them how to be in a healthy relationship and coexist with someone else. But you're also, on the other hand, being very dangerous in putting that content out there, and you're showing women, you know, maybe I need to behave in a specific way to obtain a specific type of man, which is not is not good as well. But there's been times when I've heard him say specific things that I've actually kind of agreed with.
Absolutely.
But like I said, I've not consumed a lot of his content, but when he would have these conversations with some of these women, to me, it was like, yes, it makes sense. My issue was that he was pigeonholing and lumping all women in this one category together, instead of saying, well, some women are like this, you know, because there's some men that are like this. Like, not all men are one thing, and not all women are one thing. And that was my main issue with a lot of things that he said. But absolutely, under no circumstance does that condone having a party and cheering and cheering a man's death. Because, like, again, there are people that care about this individual, and you need to be respectful. And if you don't have anything nice to say, like Jill brought up, don't say nothing at all. You didn't have to go on Twitter and type that shit, right? You could have went on Twitter and typed something else and talked about some other shit that day, but you chose to be an asshole. So does that make you any better than the person that you're talking shit about that just passed away?
Facts.
Did you unfollow anybody that you know who was talking shit about him?
I don't know anybody that I followed that was part of it. I just saw the threads.
I think that might do the trick
down
for
on
me.
him.
The tweet that you showed me right now with the guy whose name was Hoochie Whore, that guy, like, I would unfollow him if I was already following him. That show of your character is enough for me to just give up on you.
Right. And you know, it's funny. I watched a Tyrone Magnus video, and Tyrone Magnus said he, like, said on his video, "Rest in peace to Kevin Samuels." He said he lost a lot of subs because they were like, "Oh, I can't believe you watched this guy," and they unsubbed from him because he said, "Rest in peace to Kevin Samuels." That's ridiculous. That's dumb.
It's not the company I wanted to attract anyway, so good riddance.
Yeah. For real.
Yeah.
100%.
I agree. Eddie, you've been quiet for a few minutes.
What I thought he said was kind of BS in that video. Like I said, I get it. People would say don't do that when he died, but obviously it was already happening when he was living still. Obviously, he was still getting all that backlash, and people were calling him names, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So it's expected to still happen even when he dies. Like this is actually the actual thing. That even you see all the time. People that have been dead for 100 years, 20 years, 30 years, they still get trashed to this day. So it's like, it's still gonna happen either way. I mean, his legacy is to be in infamy for the rest of rest of our lives, I guess, until we meet the same fate. But it's like, we can't do anything about it. Let the people who are talking that way, say whatever they have to say. I mean, I'm pretty sure they were saying it when he was living. This isn't a case scenario where you have something to say, but you wait until they die to say something. I see that so many times as well, and I hate that the most. Too. I know Kobe was a big example of that. People were calling him, the R word again after he died. I was like, you bastards, you guys wait until someone dies to say some shit like that. Even people on the news were doing it too. Like, well, people. Like I said, I'm not gonna get
they referenced it. They did. And that was wrong.
I think Wendy Williams did some shit about that too. Like someone
Gail Kim, Oprah's friend there.
They were like, what about back then with the allegations, with the rape, and all that stuff. Yeah, and I was like, you bastards really wait until someone dies just to bring that shit up again. It's such asking the person themselves.
Yeah, who was she interviewing? Lisa
Lisa Leslie, I think.
Lisa, I couldn't remember. Yeah. In that interview, and because she was friends with him, and she brings up the rape allegations, then she brings up his legacy and her friendship with him.
Yeah.
It was disgusting. It really was disgusting. And that was probably, I think that is absolutely worse. Go ahead, Jill.
It's not disgusting if you believe he did it. Because I don't believe Kobe did it, and I think like it's just someone was trying to get rich off of him, I'm like, what the hell? But if he really did do it and it was more than an allegation, no, we all agree there. We all agree if it was more than an allegation, it's worth bringing up. But if the allegation, I guess, is believed by the person, Gayle King, then I understand her. It's just I disagree with her so strongly because I believe it was fake.
Yeah, in that situation, I agree. Like that it was just an allegation, and I think that she didn't believe it. I think that she was trying to do a gotcha moment and trying to get ratings for an interview because she was interviewing her at the time on national TV as a part of an interview after he died. And it was in the interview because like they submit these questions and that question was not submitted. the questions were about his legacy,
Mhm.
him being a father, and coaching his daughter and his daughter, and all these things. And then you're talking to his friend who cared about him and loved him, but then you make it about this other thing. So I felt like it was like a gotcha. It was a nasty moment. That's why I say
What
it's
about
disgusting.
something like when Osama bin Laden died and people were gathering in Washington, like people, like regular, I was going to say fans, but just citizens were going and singing the anthem, and they had their waving their flags outside the White House and stuff like that. How do we feel about that? Because I would say same position. Kevin Samuels died, didn't agree with him. I'm just going to keep my mouth shut because somebody died. Can we express ourselves for universally hated, understandably bad people who die? And then
In the course of war,
It's a good question.
was it war in 2011? It was, wasn't it? It wasn't war until just last year, right?
Yeah, I mean active war, and then and then the stuff with so everything. I feel like in that it was like we caught and killed a war criminal who killed people, and I wouldn't have been one of those people cheering for it, the fact that he died, but especially in this country, it was like, oh, they got him, that kind of thing, like finally, for the things that he did and his war crimes and things like that. So I guess if
now, would you tweet a thing that's negative about him, or would you tweet, "Woof, war is over. All the lives that we sacrificed was not in vain"? Those are the type of things I would expect to see, and I'd be like, "Oh, okay, I can see why you would say something like that." But to say something like, basically what they say for Kevin Samuels to Osama, I wouldn't co-sign that one.
Me neither.
I wouldn't say anything like that. I would be like, finally this part of this chapter, he's finally been caught. I might say that.
Right.
But I wouldn't go in on, we shot him and killed him, and yay, we killed him, and da-da-da, he's dead, and like all of that type of thing.
But some of the people that lost their lives on 9/11, like family, their family and stuff, I can understand their family members saying shit. You know what I mean? I can understand someone that's been affected like that being happy. You know what I mean? Yeah,
that's a good point. Imagine someone kills someone and then that guy dies. You're happy. Like when 50 Cent said in Many Men, he got hit like I got hit, but he ain't fucking breathing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm not mad at Curtis Jackson for that at all.
Exactly. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
that's what I'm saying. So if it affects you in that kind of way, like I can't be like, oh my God, you said that. Well, listen, man, my family or my brother or my mother was in that building when it got bombed, and it's his fault. So I can understand their hatred for him and why they would say that. But just a normal person like me or you, just like, hey, yeah, man,
Yeah, I do too. I always say that I would think that, because people have asked me, because I'm such against the death penalty, right? And I guess that's why I'm trying to connect this. And people would always bring up the fact, now, if this was your family member, how would you respond? So kind of like in the same thing, if I had lost people, in that situation, how would I respond? Right. I would hope that my response would be in the sense of not gratitude for their death, because I feel like that just eats away at the person. Like, the old adage, revenge is drinking poison and hoping that the other person dies, right? So I would hope that I would have grace and feel forgiveness, because you don't forgive other people for them, you forgive other people for yourself. So like harboring that anger and that resentment, I hope for myself that I would be able to let that go, but I've not been in that situation, so I don't know how I would react. So I'm just being real about it. If that was me, I would hope that I would be able to find peace with it and to let it go, and not cheer on someone else's death.
I agree with you, but now take it a one step further to where maybe it's bring your family to work day, and now your husband and your kid died in that building.
Yeah.
It's hard to sit there and say
you mess with my kid, like, right. And I'm just talking about, not trying to talk about Dr. Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. but like I
Right.
kind of feel her a little bit. You know, if I lost my kids, you know, I might be on some crazy too. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Because but I would hope that I would be able to honor my kid's memory in a way where I didn't harbor that resentment. You know what I'm saying? But probably knowing me, like if you freaking kill my kid,
I'd go piss on your grave or some shit. You know what I
no,
mean? Like that's
I'm going to grab this sawed off shotgun. You know what I mean?
yeah, take your
Probably
family out. Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna take you out. But I hope I wouldn't do that. But like I
Hmm.
feel like you know that might be the first thought. Oh, okay. Now if they ain't got you, I'm gonna get you. You know what I'm saying?
That's hard too, because like it hurts for like your morals and what you believe in. Like
Hmm.
there's a line about turning the other cheek, all that stuff, and I get it. It's hard as hell to do that. I get it, especially if you're like a person of faith. So you're like, damn, I really want to kill this motherfucker, but I know I can't because it goes against my values. But this person did the worst thing to me of all time.
Yeah.
So it's like it's hard, really hard not to cross that line.
For real.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'll beat the bricks out of him, but I don't know about killing him, despite how much pain he cost me. Like, I don't know if I can actually kill
I
someone.
know. It's like you
It's
hope
hard.
that you would react
Yeah,
Hmm.
one way, but you don't know unless you're in that situation.
yeah,
Right.
So it's
And
hard.
and you know, like they say, killing him or or even him dying doesn't bring back who you lost.
Yeah.
No, it
You know what I
doesn't.
mean? So you still have that hole in your heart, you know.
yeah. And you just ruin your soul and shit and stuff
Yeah,
too. Just
basically.
yeah,
So it's hard to say, you know. I've never been in that situation either, so I don't know how I would react. And I'm like you, I'm hoping. Hey, man, I see some. You see these people. Like someone kills their son, and they're
yeah.
like, "Oh, I forgive you," and I'm just like, I don't know if I could do that, man. Good for
I do.
you, but
Yeah. I remember watching, you know, the
Dylan
stuff.
Roof.
Yes, you knew
mhm,
exactly where I was going, Chill. And listening to some of the family members that said they forgave him, right, for what he
mhm,
did. I remember like watching those interviews and like me, I'm hyper emotional. Of course I cried, you know, and it was just such a happy moment, you know, for not happy, but like, you know, that they were able to release that. That's not what I'm not looking for happy. You know what I mean? I was reading
mhm,
Perp's comment and got my words mixed up. Thank you, Perp. You know, so it's like to release that, it's like a piece, it's peace, right?
yeah,
And they were so part of that connected to their religion, right? And saying, I forgive you for what you did. You know, they invited you in and you did this horrible thing, but I forgive you. And that's a powerful thing. You know, they were able to forgive him, but that forgiveness releases them of that poison and that resentment.
It's
You know, because I've not dealt with like forgiving people for something that extreme, but I know what it's like to release, you know, resentment and anger towards someone. And once you let that go, right, it's like a weight that's lifted off of you. You know,
mhm,
it doesn't. You don't feel this heaviness within inside of you once you let that go.
yeah, yeah. I
Thank you,
agree.
Perp. Anybody else have? What do you think about that Chillmonger? Because
Well,
the
back to
Dylan
what
Roof situation.
Big Bro was saying. If someone hurts my loved ones, I would snap. We all think that. I don't know if we would all be about it. Of course, I think about that too. But like, how well do we know each other? Because there's a lot of people who say I would never, and then end up
Mm-hmm.
doing it. So,
Mhm,
or I would,
Yeah,
and they end up not doing it because
I
it
will.
sounds good.
Yep. Because a lot of times I will say this just from life experience. The motherfucker that will say I will never will be
Yeah,
the first motherfucker that will.
yeah.
Don't
facts,
forget it.
facts.
Check that dirt quick, fast, in a hurry whenever
Like,
you get through. You
oh,
know?
I'm never gonna marry a woman unless there's a prenup. Yep. Tell me, how did that work out for you, bud?
Mhm.
Yeah. I'm telling you, the person that says I'll never do it was always the
The
first
first one to
motherfucker
do
to
it.
do it.
Mhm.
I'm telling you.
I agree.
I,
Yeah.
I know from life experience, you know. Anzo, what do you think about forgiveness and like with Dylan Roof and someone being able to let that go?
I think they have a lot more power than I do, man, because I know I couldn't do it. I know I would have hatred in my heart for this person. I'd want them dead. I'd probably ruin whatever because listen, you take my kid away from me.
Mm-hmm.
You basically ruined my life. You
Mm-hmm.
destroyed my life. So now nothing I can do can ever come close to that type of pain. So you know what? I
Yeah.
might as well just go all out, and I'm gonna take you out as well. And that's how I would.
Yeah.
So it would be. I wouldn't be able to forgive somebody like that.
I know. And I'm not getting too personal. I had a situation 2 years ago that was traumatic. For me, that separated from me from my kids for a little while, and that was very, 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 very difficult, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
And I have now just recently forgave that situation because I was holding on to it and it was just making me sick,
Mhm.
and I couldn't deal with it, you know. And at the time, you know, the situation was ugly. It wasn't right. But in the other person's defense, they thought that they were coming from a place of loving and caring, but it was really about control and power. Really, you know what I
Right.
mean? But that
Mhm.
was very, very difficult, and it took me a long time to be able to say I gotta let this go because I'm
Mhm.
holding on to this. And that's another thing, you get caught up in why was this done to me, right? Why did you
Mhm.
do this to me? Why did this happen to me? Instead of thinking, I'm going to let it go because there's nothing I can do about the fact that it happened, right? All I can do is correct it and fix it and move forward. And that's what I did in that situation. And once
Mhm.
you let go of all of it, you do find peace. You really, really do.
Mhm. And that's
Is
what
what
I
I
said.
would say.
There's degrees to it, of course. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
There's there's certain things you can forgive, and there's certain things that I don't think I would be able to forgive. So, as long as you haven't killed anybody, then maybe I could forgive you. But if you kill somebody that I really care about, then yeah, I don't know if I can forgive that.
Yeah. I would, like I said, I would hope I would, because I know the people in my family, they would not want me to have that resentment. You know what I'm saying? If that
Mhm.
if I lost them, that
Mhm.
would that would hurt them if they were here to see me suffer and to act out on that in their
Mhm.
honor. Just, you got to think about that too. If they
Absolutely.
were here, what would they think? What would they say? How
Mhm.
would they feel if you jeopardize yourself in their name instead of living your best life and trying to move forward and carry their memory on in a in a way that
Mhm.
is
Yeah.
positive and carries them forward. Because yeah, if you kill somebody in revenge, that's still, you're in a place of darkness, right?
Absolutely.
You're not able to carry someone's memory on in a very peaceful, loving, and light way,
Mhm.
right? And that is not good, at all. Getting stuck in darkness isn't going to help you or anybody,
Right.
or the memory of someone else.
Now,
It
I
just.
think I'd be able to like, let's say it was an accident.
Hmm.
I'd probably be able to forgive. You know what I mean? Especially if I know the person that did it, like they're really remorseful and you could see that, you know, it will take time, but I think that's something I could forgive. But something that's done intentionally, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. So,
Yeah,
Eddie,
sure.
chill.
Accident. I could do it for an accident, definitely. But I'm never gonna forgive and never gonna understand what they were doing, because it wouldn't work for me. For them, though, yes, they're church people. That's where they got the tragedy. So yeah, that's gonna help them out, and it's therapeutic for them. So if whatever works for you, I can't knock it. That's
hmm
it's how they're gonna cope for it. But I would never forgive.
mm. Even
See.
if it was an accident, you mean?
Oh no, no, accidents are accidents, sure, but like
Right.
well, actively going and hurting someone, I'm
Right.
not
Yeah,
gonna. Plus,
absolutely.
in that case with Dylan Roof, I don't even think his brain is like functioning the way that ours does. So what does that
Hmm.
even
Hmm.
mean? Like the forgiveness, or these people seem to say I'm sorry. He won't even like register with what it means exactly and how heavy it is.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, but again, it's for you and not them. Is what it's for.
The forgiving, yeah, yeah, absolutely.
You gotta let it go, but that is Those are big things to let go. I know a lot of work. Maybe you can get there, but just setting in revenge is not going to, in anger is not going to help. It
But
won't
you see,
help.
yeah, I agree. But you see, the thing with me, I would always be because, like I said, especially if it's intentional, because you'd come up to the next Marvel movie, and that's something me and my son always do.
Yeah.
Now I can't do
Yeah.
that because you took him away from me. Nothing I
Yeah.
enjoyed, I'll ever be able to enjoy again.
I'm
Because
the same way because I connect objects and things to people. Like,
hmm
you know,
hmm
like so I completely, and it like sparks a memory. Like if I look at a specific thing, or even like if I would be like, oh, I wore this, this time,
hmm
or we did that. Like I get that. Like I do the same thing. Like specific things connects to a memory, right?
right.
And sometimes doing those things, or involving in those or specific activities bring up these feelings, and then you can get stuck in those memories. So I can see that,
Yeah.
if my my youngest kid loves Spider-Man. You know what I'm saying?
hmm
Like I don't know if I could watch a Spider-Man movie, if that was my kid, because
Absolutely.
because of the connection that we had with Spider-Man, or and Tom Holland, and things like
hmm
that, and in specific movies, and like books that we've read or shows that we watched together,
hmm
like there I still specific shows like that I watch, um with JC, I can't watch some of that stuff because it's a memory that's tied to that, and it's
Yeah.
painful, right?
Yeah. hmm
So those things, you do get attached to specific things that can bring up those memories. But if you can remember them in a happy way instead of be sad about them, I guess that's part of the process to learn how not to think of them in a negative way, but in a positive way. And that could be the part that'll be hard to get through. Guys, we got about 4 more minutes here. We're going to wrap up.
hmm
Does it chill, Eddie? Y'all have, and Anzo, y'all have anything you want to add here?
Yeah. One thing I
During
want. Oh, go ahead, Chill. You first.
during the Donald Trump talk, I was thinking about this and I never got a chance to say it. I recently, a couple days ago, watched Space Force and that introduction. And that was a hilarious press conference, and I'm gonna
Uh-huh.
definitely be checking that one out again.
I'm gonna have to do that myself. I haven't seen what season of Space Force was that? The
No, no,
Space
no.
Force was
I
just
mean,
canceled.
like Donald Trump in real life was at the president's podium and he said, "Space
Oh,
Force,
Space Force. I
the
thought you meant the
brand new
show. I
branch."
thought you meant
Nah, I'm talking about the
something in the
comedic.
show
No, the
reminded
reality
you
star
of a press.
actor. It was the real
Oh yeah,
like
when he said the
press
Space Force
conference,
thing.
and I'm
Yeah,
like,
he
hmm
this
did.
is so funny, but it's true.
Yeah,
hmm hmm
yeah. I thought that you were saying that there was like a parody of him in the show about it, and you were going to go back and watch
Hey,
his
I
press conference.
bet the parody is not as funny.
It wouldn't be, but I don't know. I didn't. That show wasn't very funny, and it's canceled now. But like the Bleach one, like when he did the Bleach thing,
hmm Oh
like
yeah.
it was hilarious, but it was scary and it was real. So
Yeah.
it's just like
Yeah.
it was just like the things, and then like him holding the Bible upside down
Yeah,
at
that one
the
was
for the
bad.
photo
Yeah.
op. That was bad. It's just like so many things. Like he gave so many comedians so much material, didn't he?
hmm
Right, when he did all those things. Anzo, final thoughts, opinions.
Yeah. The last thing I want to say is, Job Diaz said, yeah, but a lifelong or 40-year sentence is enough. The goal of prison is to rehabilitate.
No, it's
That
not.
is,
Not in this country. It's
it's
supposed to.
supposed
It's
to
not.
be the goal. Yes, that's what I'm saying. It's supposed to be the
No,
goal, but it's not the goal,
it's
and that's the
not.
problem. You know. But
Unfortunately, it's
other
just
than
a
that,
vicious cycle.
absolutely. And what they do is they make a lot of money off of the prison system. So their goal is to keep you in there, or
Yeah,
to make sure that you
to keep
come
it
back
filled.
when you get
Right.
out. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, but
Yeah.
other than that, man, great show. It was fun. Thank you.
Yeah, it was fun. Eddie Betty. Eddie Betty.
Like I said, I know I resonate with a bunch of that stuff, but like I think about it too in terms of forgiving these MCU fans who watching these films. I don't know if I can do it. But
This man, I swear.
no, it's no for real. Like I said, I don't know if that shit will ever happen to me in real life in terms of someone getting killed that I love or whatever. In terms of something like that, I hope it doesn't. I hope it never does. I don't know how I'll behave. I'm not really violent, but at the same time, I'm definitely, like I said, I don't know how far I'll take it because I'll definitely get physical about it. I just don't want to take it too far to the point that I'll regret it afterwards. But like I said, you just had to hope it never happens. You never get in that situation. I know it's hard too as hell. I see some videos about them even like hugging their children's murderers as to saying I forgive you. I'm like, oh my gosh, I couldn't even touch them, man. Because I even try to, if I even like no, I couldn't be.
You're gonna pull the Wanda and snap their neck, aren't you?
I probably will. Like the fact that they can hug them after that, it's like, oh my, you have to have the biggest like willpower in the world. Like you're definitely, if it was a comic book movie, you'll definitely be a Green Lantern after that shit. But like I said, it's forgiveness is a thing, but it's like at the same time, it's like, oh my gosh, it's it's hard. But that's all I have to say on that. Man. I liked how we switched from comic book movies, like what happens if someone gets murdered or worse. It's
yeah.
Like,
well, I was gonna name it Sunday Lessons because we are bringing Sunday Lessons back, right? So that's why we had some real topics here. I miss doing that. We used to do that. And because it's, we talk about comic book movies all the time. It's good to talk about other things from time to time, right?
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Like when people see the title and then they go to this point of the video after the replay, they're like, what the fuck is going on?
I'm gonna add that in the front of it, and I'm gonna add it.
Because they're gonna be like, let's see what Ashley says at this point of the time, and then when we see you talking about murder and the R word and everything else, you're like, damn, what happened? That wasn't the Multiverse of Madness.
Well, the title of it is Nerdrotic said what? Kevin Samuels in something about the Twitter mob. I can't remember what I'd said.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna add Dr. Strange the Multiverse of Madness to that too. But you never know. It's like the flow of conversation where we go. You never know where it'll lead, right?
Absolutely. And no, K-Dot, it was a DCEU fan.
It was your daddy.
Fact.
We all know.
He was mad at your tweet. We know that.
We know that.
And what we need to do is stop forgiving these damn DCEU movies because they're all trash.
That is a factual fact, ladies and gentlemen. And will The Flash ever come out? I don't know. We'll
Probably
see.
not.
Chillmonger?
Nah.
But anyway, Chillmonger, what you got coming up this week? Anything cool? Videos,
Probably
ideas?
the free comic book day that came out talking about Avengers versus Eternals versus X-Men was interesting, so I might talk about that one.
Coolsies. And Anzio of Bigger for Entertainment.
Got the Danny show tomorrow, my show on Tuesday, and then Wednesday Chris's show in the OOC. So should be a busy week. But other than that, it was a great show, man. I had fun tonight. Thank you guys.
I did too. Yes. Thank you, Anzo, for being like, hey, yeah, do that stream. You got this. Remember that? Mm-hmm. Eddie Betty with the blanket. What kind of video trolling or cool videos do you think you got coming up this week?
Well, I don't know why I had to use the word troll because I never. But I'm an outstanding citizen. I respect all movies, franchises, all that stuff. So
that is not true.
Like I said,
he likes the MCU better than the DCEU guys. Just
he does. I got the messages to prove it.
Yeah, never. Fake messages, baby, not real ones.
No, and that's you, not me. I don't even know how to do that. I would not even know where to begin. I can, Dottie's got to walk me through how to use Streamlabs. Okay, I could not do that.
No, I'm just saying, I hope you're not making fake shit. Like I said, unless you're using your witch powers on me to make me say some bullshit I never said before. But like I said, Look, I'll be real here when it comes to all the stuff that we talked about. The MCU is garbage. The movies are flopping. Wanda's a villain. She'll stay a villain.
How is Doctor Strange in the Multiverse flopping when it made $450 million globally, more than a freaking Shazam did?
Disney's buying theater seats.
In 3
Everyone knows
days.
that. They be buying theaters to support their films, all that stuff. We all know that. Those rumors about Captain Marvel were true. I have the sources to cover it.
Oh my god.
But that's pretty much all I have to say about the fake ass MCU. The people that be selling drugs, drug cartel, all that stuff, breaking windows for no reason, of loyal and true faithful church bearings DC fans. It's a shame out here, Marvel people. They had to learn to be. We have to better educate them on standards of society. So so a bunch of them won't be able to go into prison or all that stuff. You know, gang banging. You know, it's just a shame for those MCU fans.
Okay. All right. Anyway, Dot says, then Ashley told me, call Feige your daddy bitch. She took a whip and striked my face with it. I look like a character from Roots. See, you see that? This is some DC fans say.
No, DC fans never lie.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange is benefiting off Chinese internment camps. You see, these are DC fans, trolls of a century. They don't get quality films, so they have to troll,
hate on ours,
and be haters, because we have
and
quality films.
Doctor Strange has been out 3 days, and it's almost 300 million away from beating the Batman, which has been out how long already?
Eddie can't handle it.
Like I said, those Disney practices are off the rails. I mean, I don't know about Doctor Strange at the camps, but I know a certain movie about a Chinese-led movie. I know that definitely.
No. Things are falling apart right now, ladies and gentlemen. I will tell you that right now. Tomorrow there'll be some thing I got to figure out. Putting everybody's name in a thing in an app and generating who the winner is. That'll be tomorrow. I'll be doing that, right?
Nice.
At some point. And then tomorrow evening on Movie Madness Entertainment, over with Mad Max the Mandalorian, I, along with the wonderful Rhea, we will be hosting our very first episode of Ladies Night. And again, what are we going to be talking about? Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. And that's going to be fun. And you can check it out at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I can't wait to do that. I love talking with Rhea and we always have a great conversation. So that'll be tomorrow. You can check me out there. And I'll have a few videos up on my channel as well this week. And you remember, I hope everyone is happy and healthy. Until next time, we're about to be up out of here. Bye.
Toodles.